And a very pleasant good evening, and we will welcome you once again to Saddleback College Football here on SoCalCollegeSports.com tonight. From Mission Viejo, the Bobcats welcome in the Mount San Antonio College Mounties in a non-conference matchup, the final non-conference matchup for both of these teams. Jeff Stoynoff, Brad Hoyseth with you here from Saddleback. And boy, oh boy, Brad, you talk about the Bobcats this season, and it's been a tough schedule, and it doesn't get any easier here tonight.
No, I mean, most of the schools came into this deal with mostly freshmen. And at this point now, you're starting to kind of figure out what you have. And if you're Saddleback, you're 2-2. They had a really nice performance in the last game against a great Ventura team. They fell just a little bit short. So I think they're feeling pretty comfortable that maybe heading into conference play, they might be hitting their stride.
Dedrick Luton on the return, and he takes a huge hit right at the 20-yard line. That's a great job by Luton, frankly, to hold on to the football.
Yeah, that's a heck of a hit right there. That's a good way to start the game. The sidelines gets all jacked up. They're all ready to go now.
So the Mounties will start from the 20 after Saddleback won the toss and elected to defer. And we will see the Mountie offense. They come in with a record of 2-0 on the season, led by quarterback Alex Flores, completing over 70% of his passes. He's just over 70% in the two games they played, 26 of 37, 296 yards, 4 touchdowns against just 1 interception. It's been an impressive start for the Mounties, if not a little bit erratic in terms of scheduling. They have played 2 games and have had 3 games postponed. The first pass out in the flat, and it's dropped, bringing up a 2nd down and 10. This game itself is a remake from a game originally scheduled for Week 2 back on September 11th. But hard to know what we have here with the Mounties. Only 2 games played, 3 games postponed on the season, but they're a perfect 2-0. Going to give you one more look at the massive hit, decleating Dedrick Luton.
Yeah, it's been as interesting as this first 4 or 5 weeks has been for Saddleback. It maybe have been more interesting for Mount Sac, who's had to sit and not play for a few weeks.
Big play to Reginald Anderson, who's able to split a couple of Bobcat tacklers. He's into Bobcat territory and finally tripped up inside the 20 down at the 15-yard line. That is a 65-yard pickup as you see Anderson break a couple of tackles and turn it into a huge play.
That's a great camera angle there by the folks down on the field for SoCal College Sports. Yeah, you got to make that tackle on the outside. Otherwise, Anderson's a guy who can break one off quickly and go the distance.
So just like that, the Mounties into the red zone. Their last game a couple of weeks ago, a victory at home against Bakersfield College. They knocked the Renegades from the ranks of the unbeaten with a 45-21 win. So it's been an impressive start for the Mounties and an impressive start here tonight as they are quickly on the move. Play action, Flores looking, goes into the end zone, has a man, touchdown! As he finds Bryce Pierre. No, they are going to say that Pierre was just out of the back of the end zone.
Yeah, I don't think he got a foot down. It was close. He's a big target, boy. Big kid going to the back of the end zone. He was wide open. Let's see what happened here. Maybe
we're going to take one more look at this, and we'll probably get a great look at it. I know we can see if we can slow down the replay. And I think what's interesting about this pass is Flores elects to put a little air under this football, and there you see Pierre. And there's 1 foot down, but that second one were partially obscured by Romaldo moving back on coverage. But, Brad, I think what's interesting about that is the air that Flores elected to put under that football, and Pierre couldn't get the second foot down.
Yeah, that's a tough one there if you're Mount Sac. You want that one.
Back to play action, back to the goal line, and a spinning attempt at a catch by Warfield. The ball did come out, still no call. Let's see what we have here.
Yeah, I'm not sure he caught it, number 1.
Yeah, and the Bobcats are indicating that they have the football, so we'll go back to the replay. It's been an eventful run into the red zone on this opening drive.
I think they're giving a touchdown to Mount Sac.
The intended target was Warfield, just running a little square in, and there you see it. He is battling for that football against Corvin Fagans, and he's got it there and spins in, and then the ball comes out. Boy, that is a great job on camera, great job on replay. But it looks to me.
Yeah, I think that ball came out before he got to the end zone. Now, the question is who recovered it.
Right, it's Fagans and Romaldo both closing in as Warfield tries to spin. And it looked like he had the football, but then as he went to make the spin, which would be qualified as the, quote, football move, that's when the ball came out. And I suspect that's where you see the call, is they're going to say that he had the ball. and then as he turned into the end zone, broke the plane, and then the ball came out, but the touchdown already scored. So in less than a minute, the Mounties get on the board, and, it's a little more controversy perhaps on a call here as well. It's been kind of a strange season so far, but there's another close call and another one that didn't go the Bobcats' way.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how they didn't call a touchdown.
All right, so we're getting the word that indeed, they're going to say that Warfield made the catch, but the ball was fumbled, but then recovered in the end zone by the Mounties to account for the score. So
all right,
that brings you up to speed in what's been an eventful first minute. 58 seconds in, and the Mounties on the board. And the Bobcats will go to work. The kick taken at the 20 and up to about the 30, and now whistles come in. So the Bobcats will go on offense here in the early going. Well, the stats still showing that this will go down as a touch. Well, trying to catch up. But all 80 yards coming on the arm of Alex Flores. The big play, the 65-yard reception by Reginald Anderson. And then Dakota Warfield with the catch down to the goal line. And then we believe a fumble, but recovered by the Mounties for the 7-0 lead. DJ Ralph back at quarterback, completes to Hicks. Hicks to his right, looking for the first down. He's out past the 40, and finally brought down at the 46. That's a 15-yard gain on 1st and 10, an immediate first down. As Ralph goes to work, and you see Hicks able to evade a couple of tacklers. And finally brought down by Daniel Mendoza after a gain of 15. Maxwell in motion, deep drop. They're trying to set up the screen looking for Wimmer, and it's incomplete. 2nd down and 10 again, just underway. Here from Mission Viejo's Saddleback College Football here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. And
I did get official word. It was officially ruled a fumble and a recovery by the Mounties.
Yep. We knew that because Mike Cepeda here, producing and directing the broadcast, had already told us that. I've learned a long time ago. I don't contradict Mike. He knows what's up. The throw into traffic and nearly intercepted. Yes. So the Mounties immediately force a turnover on the Ralph pass. Let's take a look at the replay, and this off the hands, I believe, of his intended target.
Hard to tell. I couldn't tell if the 2 was the intended receiver.
Yeah, it looked like he was indeed. And it's Dedrick Luton on the deflected pass that's able to get in and make that interception.
That's a heck of a play by Luton right there.
Yeah, the pass intended for Yasir Berry, and Ralph was really trying to squeeze that in as Berry was well covered, and it's Luton who ends up with the football. So a quick turnover, and now the Mounties with a chance to really take control early. 13:28 to go in the first quarter. They have a 7-0 lead and the ball. Flores, again, looking deep, has a man, complete! Touchdown, Mounties! Right back to Shamar Savage.
Mount Sac came ready to play tonight, that's for sure.
Well, Savage getting beyond the defense, and we'll give you a couple of looks at the replays here, but Savage gets 2-3 yards clear.
Yeah, he's a big, solid, fast wide receiver. Look at this. What a stride this kid has got. And perfect pass. Hit him right in the numbers, and they made that one look easy, did the Mounties.
One play. And Flores, caution, flammable to start, but obviously they came in here with something of a plan because we've seen them be very aggressive on these first couple of drives. A couple of throws in the red zone, going right for the end zone, and then first play there. And they look for Savage.
Yeah, Saddleback's been very effective on the back end on defense this year. It's really been one of their strengths. A little bit of a surprise to see them getting caught like that on a couple of plays. And certainly guys will go to the sidelines. They'll get that stuff worked out, hopefully. But if you're the Bobcats now, you're not even 2 minutes into the game. You're down a couple touchdowns, and they got their work cut out for them now.
I mean, if you're looking for some good news, I guess there's still plenty of time. 13:21 to go in the first quarter. That'll go down as a one-play, 57-yard drive. just that quickly as Flores continues to impress, finds Savage on the big touchdown pass.
Yeah, Mount Sac off to a hot start. We really didn't know what we'd get out of them. You know, they're 2-0, but they've had such a sketchy schedule. You know, they played once, didn't play, then played again, and didn't play for a couple weeks, and you kind of wonder what they're going to look like when they come out and they finally have to play.
Yeah, well, you wonder, as it now there's a good running lane on the return for the Bobcats. This is going to get them out near midfield, as again they went to the up back.
Yeah, it's Brian Shearer, who's a backup tight end. Shearer looks good right there. Had a big lane, and
yeah, it was a good job on the return, opening up a lane for Shearer.
So if you're going to get down 14-0, Jeff, that's an ideal scenario. At least you got a good kickoff now. Maybe you can get something going, get some points on yourself.
All right, see if you can start to claw your way back against a Bobcat team that must be at least a little bit shell-shocked. Here they run just a couple of plays on offense. Read option and good running room for Ralph on the right side. He will head out of bounds into Mountie territory at the 47. That's a gain of 6.
Yeah, I think
and bring up a 2nd and 4.
I think the Bobcats might be a little bit lucky. They didn't get a penalty on the outside. If we can get a replay of that, it looked like maybe the wide receiver over there blocking might have tugged a little bit of a jersey, but no harm, no foul, right?
Hey, it's only a penalty if the flag is thrown. Ralph on a designed roll. Able to evade one tackler. Now going to try and pick up what he can. He got a yard. Out to the 46. And a 3rd down and 3 coming up. As you see some of the elusiveness of Ralph as he ran for over 50 yards last week in the loss to Ventura. But he brings them a little more of that aspect into the passing game.
Well, dare I say this early that this is an important 3rd down, Jeff? But it does seem anyways, that it might be kind of critical already. We're only 3 minutes into this game, but down 14-0, I think you desperately need to get your team a 1st down here.
Saddleback 33% on 3rd down offensively on the season, and it just got a little bit tougher as a false start is going to back them up 5 yards and make it a 3rd and 8.
Interesting call there.
Yeah, this will back it up back to the Saddleback 49, and they need the Mountie 43 on 3rd down. Ralph from the shotgun, 4-man rush. Has time, and that one batted down at the line. So good penetration by the Mountie front 4, and they're able to get a piece of that one right out of the hands of Ralph, and that'll bring up 4th down and a missed opportunity.
Yeah, if you're the Bobcats, you had good field position there, and unfortunately a penalty kind of disrupted things. And if you're Saddleback now, you do need to get the defense out there and have them make a couple plays. Maybe that's the part of the team that gives you a spark here.
It looked like Aeneas Foreman that got his hands up and was able to knock down that pass. So we'll see Dylan Widener.
Good-looking kick here.
High kick and a fair catch. No. They're going to go ahead and set up the return here out back to the 18-yard line. That's a 7-yard return. And for the Mounties, a little better field position.
If you're Mount San Antonio, it's really kind of the perfect script so far. I mean, I don't think even in your best dreams, you don't envision yourself getting a couple touchdowns in the first 2 minutes, but they have to be thrilled with their start. Saddleback got to figure things out here real quickly.
Yeah, and that was a good read by Jordan Allen on that return. Looked as though that might be one to fair catch, but able to secure it and get 8 yards, and that's important, picking up a little better field position. Now they start from the 19. That's a lot different from starting at the 10 or 11-yard line. They'll go to the ground on a 1st down carry. Kauni over the 15 to the 17. That's a gain, or I should say to the 27-yard line. That's a gain of 8 yards.
Mount Sac is a program that's always had big physical running backs. Of course, Rashad White, who's at Arizona State now, played at Mount San Antonio.
Kauni comes in averaging a little over 20 yards a carry, and that's what happens when you only have 9 carries on the season, and one of them is a 94-yard touchdown run. So the average still up there. That's going to be a hard clip to keep up for too long for Keota.
You know, if I was out there and there was nobody else out there, I still wouldn't average 20 a carry.
Just get a look at Kerry Crabb on the sideline in his first season at the helm for the Bobcats after the penalty. backs them up to the 23. It'll now be 2nd down and 7 with 11:04 as the clock moves here in the first quarter. Dual setbacks. They send the man in motion, and the snap gets away. And this is going to be a big loss back near the 10-yard line. In fact, they'll spot at the 10. That's a loss of 12 and a 3rd and 19 coming up as Udenwi came in at quarterback and didn't have much of an opportunity to do anything there as the snap was wide, and he just had to fall on it.
Yeah, that thing was about 1.5 feet to his right, and all he got was a fingertip on it. A little bit fortunate, Mount Sac, they didn't lose the ball there. Maybe that's the spark that the Bobcats needed right there.
Yeah, that's a welcome sight for this Bobcat defense that's gotten off to a very shaky start with a couple of touchdowns allowed in the early going. Flores back in at quarterback on a 3rd and forever will throw, and a sliding attempt, and the catch is made at the 25. That is short of first down yardage. But that's a great job by Bryce Pierre, the tight end, going down to get this football. What a great catch. Man, that's a great angle on that shot as well. But
6'5", 240 out of Rancho Cucamonga. It doesn't look like
got the hand under there, and then maybe a little slide on the turf. Meanwhile, 4th down, and the punting unit on for the Mounties. So with a little help from an errant snap, the Bobcats get the 3 and out, and they will get the football back. This is a booming kick. Damian Garcia going to flip the field here all the way back to the 13-yard line. That's a 62-yard punt with no return.
Mount Sac, of course, a great tradition historically. They've been or played in a number of state title games and won a few mythical national titles. Been a heck of a program for a long, long time, and every single season you know that they're gonna put some major prospects out there. What do we got here?
There's flag down on that kick.
Are they saying the Bobcats were offsides? They're going to give them a first down?
Yeah, on a 4th and 4, that's a killer call if you're a Bobcat fan, because it brings the Mountie offense back on the field, where they will have it now 1st and 10 from their own 30, and I think this offense has already demonstrated that you can't be giving them extra chances. Back to work, Udenwi on the give. Nicholas Floyd the carry, and he drags a tackler out to the 33 for a gain of 3.
Well, the Bobcats going to have to do it all over again, get another stop here.
It was Chad Nucci finally able to get Floyd down, but not before he picked up 3 yards. Brings up a 2nd and 7. As Ike Udenwi remains in the game at quarterback for the Mounties. And I think if you're the Bobcats, you kind of have to be pretty happy that you're not seeing Flores. A little trouble on the snap, but Udenwi able to pick his way forward and turn it into a 6-yard pickup, and it'll bring up a 3rd down and 1. That's a terrific play by Udenwi on a play that looked like it was in some trouble.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's another one of those balls that have just bounced the right way so far for Mount Sac. I mean, that's the second time we've seen a snap that Udenwi couldn't handle it, and they've managed to come up with both of them so far. Those things can turn quickly, though. They better work out that exchange between the center and the quarterback.
3rd down and 1. I formation backfield for the Mounties. Flores has the snap. They'll try on the left side, and this is going to come down to the spot.
I think they're going to give it to him, according to the line judge over there. Yeah, he's already waving. It's a 1st down. It was close. I thought initially that he did get it, but
yeah, it was Kalen Bradley on the carry, and with second effort, he got right out to the 40. That is close, but just enough to move the chains, and another 1st down for the Mounties. And again, you go back, this drive continued on a big 4th down penalty for the Bobcats, and now they have to try and find their way off the field again. Offset I. They send Irby in motion. Back to Bradley. And he is brought down after a gain of 2.
Good pressure up front there for the Bobcats. Good pursuit.
Yeah, we're going to show you here on a split screen. And Look at where the call was, and I'm not sure. It looked like, I mean, from that shot, Brad, it's somebody lined up offsides because we're not seeing a lot of movement on that one, as we'll continue as well with live action at the top of the screen. 2nd down and 8 as we bring you back. So I'm not sure where the call was. And again, another carry. And County straight up the middle out to the 49, a gain of 7 and a 3rd down and 1 for the Mounties, who predictably have been outstanding on 3rd down in their first 2 games, converting 56%. Already converting earlier on this drive on a 3rd and 1, and here's another 3rd and 1. Back to County. Good hole on the left side. Able to break a couple of tackles. He's into Bobcat territory down to the 33. That is a run of 18 yards and another Mountie 1st down.
County's a load. 5'9", 200, just a freshman out of St. Louis High School in Hawaii. He's a big kid, runs physically.
He's doing his best to keep that average up. 3 carries for 34 yards in the game. 11.3 yards per carry here tonight, and his average has gone down. Irby again in motion. Back to County again over his left guard. Down to the 29.
I've seen Mount Sac a few times over the year, Jeff. When they get you on your heels running the football, they're going to keep running the football till you stop it. So if you're Saddleback, I think you just prepare to see this for quite a while. They got a 14-point lead. They don't feel in any hurry, and they're getting 3, 4, 5 chunks every yards every chunk every time.
2nd down and 7 from the 30. Play action under pressure, and he dumps it short and completes. Flores going back to Pierre, who is tripped up at the 25. A gain of 5. Another big 3rd down, a 3rd and short from the 25. That's a good job, Flores, to get that ball off with a couple of defenders in his face.
Really nice open field tackle there by Kyle Thomas, because that's a big kid you're wrapping up there. Bryce Pierre, 6'5", 240. That's not an easy task, bringing that kid down.
3rd down and 2 for the Mounties, who've already converted a couple of 3rd downs. County in the backfield. And he'll get the handoff. This time over his right guard. Appears to have 1st down yardage down to the 21, a gain of 4. Working on the interior of that offensive line behind center Diego Jimenez, left guard Robert Bocanegra, right guard Jal Chan. And the offensive line, as you would expect, off to a great start in their first 2 games. They haven't allowed a sack. The Mounties averaging 8 yards a carry on the ground. And you would figure they're getting a stern challenge here tonight as they step up defensively against a very good Saddleback defense. But so far, they're passing this test.
Yeah, clicking on all cylinders. They're catching a few breaks with the fumbles. Maybe got a call at one point as well.
Raven Tribune, the new back, off tackle on the left side, and a gain of 3 will bring up 2nd down and 7. Meanwhile, after a couple of quick strike drives, this a very lengthy drive that started back at the Mount Sac 19-yard line, but we're ticking down now to 4:19 and counting remaining here in the opening quarter, and this drive is good 5 or 6 minutes. We were still up over 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's obviously been a great showing for Mount Sac so far. A lot of people didn't really know what they were going to get coming in. They're trying to make a statement.
Looking for more into the end zone and another touchdown.
That's a great play right there for Mount Sac. A tremendous catch by Joseph Bongong, I believe is how you pronounce that. 6'5", 2 1/4 at a High Point in Maryland.
Yeah, Joseph Bongano, maybe? It's a little small print for me on this one, but indeed, as Flores is able to squeeze this in, this is pretty good coverage again. But you got to give Flores a lot of credit. Into the end zone and able to find Bongano, wow.
That's
who
great
reaches
coverage.
out.
You can't ask a guy to do much more than that.
Yeah, he was working against Romaldo. On the coverage, meanwhile, the extra point is blocked. And the Mounties just going to get back and try and fall on this one, but the score will remain 20-0 with exactly 4 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. As the Mounties have come out hot. 3 touchdowns here in the opening quarter and a big lead at 20-0.
Well, you have 3 quarters plus to see what you can do here. I mean, obviously it's a tall task. We've seen it before. Remember we saw East LA a couple weeks ago where the Bobcats looked completely out of sync in the first half. I think they trailed 19-0 at the half against East LA. We come out in the second half, we see a completely different football game. So I've seen these things change on a dime, but this Mount Sac team has been impressive here in the early going.
Yeah, that was off the edge, and it was Steven Gushikin who was able to get his hands on that one. And if you're a coach, Jastrab over at Mount Sac, and you're looking for something to be disappointed about in the first quarter, well, it took 11 minutes, but maybe he's got something that he can work on with his team, because outside of that, boy, it's been tough. The Mounties have been darn near perfect to start this one. Lots of running room, meanwhile, to the near side on the return out to the 30. Another good return and a flag down late. But we'll see what the call is here.
Yeah, flag come in. That usually isn't good for the return team.
Yeah,
you don't see a
right
lot
where you
of,
saw it, yeah.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of penalties go against the team that's kicked off. It usually almost always is a block in the back or a cut block, something like that, holding. Looks like this one's going to be holding.
Daniel Stokes. Well, it came in really late here on the left side. I'm not sure what the call is, but they are already backing this up. So what had been a good return of 30 yards will instead see the Bobcats start at their own 15 with relatively poor field position, and they're already in a big hole.
Yeah, they're up against it now, and they haven't had a lot of time with the football so far.
Third drive for the Bobcats, and they need to get something done right here. Even with a lot of time, they'll go back to the ground on first down with Wimmer, who bounces it outside and out to the 19 for a gain of 4. Well, in a back-and-forth game last week, the Bobcats ran the ball 42 times. So there was a lot of commitment to the running game, and it'll be interesting to see here if Kerry Crabb feels, even late in the first quarter, if he needs to start to make an adjustment against the Mountie team that you have to expect is going to put some more points on the board.
I think if you're Saddleback, the one thing you want to do is understand you're not going to get 20 points right away. Get yourself a drive, get a couple first downs, keep your defense off the field. If you end up coming away with some points, you come away with something. But, again, here's another self-destruct play right here. Looks like we got another false start.
Yeah, it looked like left tackle Roy Lockmish with some movement. And this has been something of a prevailing problem for the Bobcats this year with some penalties, but particularly
I think one of the wide receivers
of the false start variety. Well, that's right. All right, so I definitely don't want to call out Roy Lockmish. Let's see. All right, so it was. Okay. There was some movement all over that left side and some miscommunication. But when I speak of not just penalties, as Ralph, meanwhile, on the move and tries to squeeze it in on the near side, he was looking for Roebuck.
Yeah, he
on
took
a
a
second
shot
11.
At the quarterback. I think there's going to be a flag coming in here against Mount Sac.
Yeah, keep an eye
late hit on the quarterback
toward the top of your screen there. Yeah, absolutely. And that came after.
I think they got 55 for the Mounties.
Yeah,
on a late
Aeneas
hit.
Foreman. Yeah. Going to give you one more look at this one. But to get back, the Bobcats have had some trouble specifically, it would seem, with some false start penalties and being on the same page. And see the hit there late on Ralph. So this potentially could be a break for the Bobcats, who are struggling offensively as well in this one.
Mount Sac never been a team afraid of playing the physical game and getting in your head a little bit. They've always had a little bit of a streak to them, and it's part of what's made them great over the years. 2
games played for the Mounties. 32 penalties, 349 yards. Both of those stats put them exactly 64th in the 64-team 3C2A.
You know, the odd part is, Jeff, if you look at the end of the year, most of the best teams in the state are the most penalized teams in the state. That's been a trend for years.
Yeah, absolutely. Meanwhile, hit in the backfield and going nowhere on 1st and 10 after the penalty. They tried Wimmer again. It looked like couple of Mounties getting there quickly.
Yeah, they did keep DJ Ralph in there, though, so there wasn't any injury or concern about a concussion or anything like that. So
looked like Alu getting there first for a loss of a yard, and a 2nd down and 11 coming up for the Bobcats. And whistles come in before the snap.
We're going to have here now another discussion between the officials.
Going to bring you back here on replay, and can't really tell much there. This looks to me like the officials themselves want to make sure they're on the same page. Clock stopped with 2:25 remaining in the first quarter. A shocking start for the Bobcats in this one as they have been blitzed early and trail at 20-0.
Coach, I think Jastrab out there is talking to the officials and saying, what's going on here? I think we'd all like to know what's going on.
I think the way it's going right now, I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Jastrab was just saying, like, hey, man, let's just keep playing. So right now they're on a roll here in this first quarter, and I think they don't want any kind of break at all on either side of the ball.
I wish we could hear what was going on here, but we don't have access to the field mic, so.
Well, it's a little bit like last week. Maybe we do have it, but do we necessarily want to hear everything that we might hear down there?
I don't think we want to hear
it. It is a football field.
At the end of the day. And they are now winding the clock, so here we go.
2nd down and 11 for the Bobcats. Play action and another short throw and a completion for a gain of a couple.
Corner's very aggressive there on the outside. Number 21, Aaron Smith made that play. Coming up to greet Stokes
on the reception. Haven't seen a lot of Daniel Stokes so far this season. It's a gain of 3 and a 3rd down and 8. But as the season's gone on, we've seen guys like Darius Maxwell and Remigio as well get more into the fray, along with Cooper as well, Jeremy Cooper. So they've started to spread it around. And a 3rd and 8 from the 31. Delayed blitz, good protection for Ralph. Guns it over the middle, a little bit behind his intended receiver, Roebuck, and is this another interception? The Mounties are saying they've got it.
I think they're going to call it incomplete. But
yeah, we'll give you a look at this one.
Look at the reaction to the Mount Sac players on the field right now.
Looked like Rakeem Lemon. This a little bit behind Roebuck. And Lemon right there. Hard to tell because we're getting obscured.
Third
on that view. Let's see if we get this one.
Nope. Ball hit the ground.
That's a great job on camera on the replay. Fantastic. And you get the look there. Pretty good job selling it for Lemon, but it'll bring on Widener and the punting unit. Fair catch made at the 33. That's a punt of 36 yards. No return, 1:24 to go here in the first quarter. And the Mounties back on offense, leading at 20-0.
Yeah. If you're a Mount Sac fan that made the trip from Walnut, you're thrilled right now. The Bobcats will just soon start the clock over again. Let's start this one over again, but you can't go back and do that. You're down 20-0 now, and you got to hope the guys can go out there and make a few plays, get yourselves back in this game, at least score some points before halftime, get on the board, give yourself a little confidence.
Yeah, more often than not, particularly here in the 3C2A, when teams travel, you'll see the team on the road having a little trouble sometimes getting off to a fast start. Teams aren't as prepared coming off the bus. That's the more common scenario. But this has been exactly the opposite. I think it's the home team that was maybe a little slow out of the gate, and instead it's the visiting Mounties that were shot out of a cannon here to start this one.
Yeah, and they've even gotten some breaks too. You know, the bad snap to the quarterback a couple of times. The balls have kind of bounced their way on the fumble down in the end zone there.
Yep.
The ball bounced their way. They recovered it. Sometimes things just go right for a quarter or two.
2nd down and 7. Flores rolling out. He'll keep it himself. He's out past the 40. Does take a hit near the 41. He's slow getting up, and here comes a late flag.
I tell you what, he took a shot. Sean Owens just gave him one he's going to remember tomorrow. Let's see what I know they threw a flag, and
yeah,
if you're a quarterback, you want to get down, man. That is
yeah, Owens almost knocked his own helmet off there. And there's, when you talk about the helmet to helmet, and there you can see very clearly from that angle. And I think if that's the call, that's going to be a good call on Sean Owens, because there was clear helmet to helmet contact.
It was. I thought it was close, Jeff. I mean,
okay.
You know, you're always going to have helmet-to-helmet contact on some level.
Yeah.
The question is, was it targeting? You know, he clearly dipped his shoulder, and it looked like he caught Flores in the back of the shoulder. And, yeah, there was some contact, but I don't think it was an intentional thing.
No, and I don't think that either. I want to
I mean,
be clear about that.
Right, but, you know, it's a solid hit. It obviously hurt.
Right.
It hurt to watch it,
Yeah.
But at the same time,
Well, how about the tough?
Florida's got to figure out a way to get down. You don't want that we don't want to ruin your season by
the toughness of Alex
Right.
Flores, who will stay in the game. 1st and 10 from the 44 after they mark off the penalty. And again, over the left side for solid yardage, it's Kiowa County. A gain of 6 will bring up a 2nd down and 4. And while we could talk about Flores and the quick strike on offense and the 3 touchdowns here in the first quarter, the running game and the ability to push this Saddleback defense back has been a big storyline here in this first quarter, and it's been a big part of the success as the first quarter comes to a close with the Mounties leading at 20-0. You're watching Saddleback College football here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Start of the second quarter from Saddleback College and the Mount San Antonio College Mounties with a 20-0 lead, and they're on the move again. 2nd down and 4 from the Bobcat 38-yard line. Flores play action, looking deep again. Nobody home on this one, and it's incomplete. The only one with a shot was Gushikin. 3rd down and 4 coming up for the Mounties, and that's one of the rare times so far tonight that Flores has taken a shot downfield and not connected. Gushikin had excellent coverage on the night. The Mounties 3 of 4 on 3rd down. Meanwhile, another penalty. So hold everything. They'll back it up to the 48-yard line where it'll be 2nd down and 14 instead for the Mounties. Flores flanked by County. Quick throw on the left side, complete for a gain of about 4 or 5. Able to complete to Xavier Raven. 5-yard gain, well short of the 1st down. It will bring up a 3rd down and 10. The football resting on the Bobcat 43-yard line. 1st minute of the second quarter. Snap to Flores, 4-man rush, under pressure. Flores stepping up, still on his feet. Now directing traffic downfield. Throws on the far sideline, and a terrific catch by Pierre. Able to tiptoe the far side and come down with that football at the 28. That is good enough for another 1st down, a gain of 15 yards.
I saw Flores right there. He just bought himself a little time. Found a little seam on the outside there, and there you see him bounce it outside. And
that's just terrific pocket awareness
nice
for
play.
Flores. And right into your living room is Pierre with another catch, and I think you have to be very impressed with Bryce Pierre early. County on the counter, looking for a lane, and he's down to the 25, a gain of 3. 2nd down and 7 coming up. I know it's just 9 carries coming in, but I think I've also been very impressed with Kiowa County as well. Good hard running again, a gain of 3, and a 2nd down and 7 for the Mounties.
You can always count on Mount Sac being really physical up front. They've always had a tradition of having big guys up front that'll push you around. And you always have to prepare for that when you get ready for the Mounties.
Yeah, it's, you know, you think most of the time that would be a pretty accurate scouting report of what Ventura usually brings to the table. And Ventura at times did struggle to run the ball last week, averaging about 3 yards a carry in the win as County twists his way forward. Down inside the 20 to the 19, another 3rd and short. This will be a 3rd and 1 for the Mounties, who are 4 of 5 on 3rd down tonight. But this Bobcat defense stood up pretty well against another big offensive line last week. But so far, a completely different story in this matchup against the Mounties.
Yeah, you got to expect they're going to run it here. They got 2 big backs in the game. Full back, big up back, number 44 there, which is Michael Ben. And then the deep back, which I believe is Shepard.
Shepard in the deep eye, and he will get the handoff, dragging a tackler for a gain of about a yard down to the 19. That's about a yard shy. It was 3rd and a short, too. And that'll bring up a 4th down and a yard and a decision for Coach Bob Jostreb.
Saddleback getting some bigger bodies in up front. They understand the importance of this play right here. You got to get a stop.
Not surprisingly, the Mounties are going to line up to go for it. They're 1 of 2 on 4th down so far this season. Saddleback limiting their opponents to just 1 of 6 on 4th down as we've got flags before the snap. And
That guy jumped.
well, penalties have been an issue, if there's been an issue so far for the Mounties this season. But this will back it up as we'll take a look at the replay. But this changes things, obviously, and 4th and 1 will become 4th and 6.
I think Saddleback's, they might call the timeout. I'm not sure.
Well, the flag comes in at the bottom. You can see that. And
there was a flag, but also somebody.
oh, there's the movement on the left side. On that, yeah, the left side, the tight end, and I can't quite get a number, but you can see there. That's a great job on the replay. Little lean back, and that's where the flag comes in. It looks like I believe that was Cato Seeley.
Now the question is,
Nope, I'm sorry.
say there was I think they might be saying that there was a timeout called before
Okay.
the jump.
Joseph Bongano, I want to.
There's a conversation going on between head coach Kerry Crabb and the official, and he's going, "Hey, look, there was a flag that came in before the whistle went off. Why is this ball not going in the other direction?"
Yeah, it looked like Joseph Bongano had started to kind of lean back, but was there a call before? And right now, the ball's still on the 19. So for now, it's still 4th and 1. I did start to say Saddleback is allowing opposing offenses only 1 of 6 on 4th down conversions so far this season. Well, now, even from the 19, a change of heart, and we're going to see a field goal attempt for Noah Carlton, who's 2 of 3 so far on the season. This would be his long. This will be 36 yards. Snap, placement down, kick is up. Line drive kick, and it's no good. So the Mounties come up empty, and the Bobcats able to make a stand and keep the Mounties off the board here early in the second quarter. Hard to say. This one was very low coming out. Don't know if perhaps a Bobcat player did get a piece of that, but either way, it's no good. And with 11:39 to go in the second quarter, well, if you're looking for some good news, the Bobcat defense able to hold, and we stay at 20-0.
Yeah, really an interesting decision by the coaching staff of Mount Sac. You got 4th down and 1. You've been getting about 4 yards a chunk every time you run the ball. You got a 20-0 lead to play with. It's not like it's a tight one.
Yep.
I just don't understand why they didn't go for it.
Hicks on the jet sweep, and he is hit from behind. Out to the 26. That's a gain of 6 and a 2nd down and 4.
Maybe it's a sign of things to come, Jeff. It's going to turn around here for the Bobcats in the second quarter. Good run there on 1st down, picking up 5 or 6.
Yeah, to your point, I was trying to look up the rushing yards so far for the Mounties, but certainly seems as though they've been having success. Meanwhile, we do have a quarterback change, and Nash back in the game, completes. Now a good move by Hicks. Hicks has open field. He's at midfield down to the 45-40, still on his feet at the 35. Finally forced out of bounds at the 31-yard line. A big play for the Bobcats, and now they're on the move.
Yeah, that's a big play for Saddleback there. I think they got about 46, 45 yards, something like that on the play. I think they're officially going to put it at the 31. More like 43 yards on the play for Saddleback.
So after Ralph took over against East Los Angeles College and then played all last week, we see Drew Nash back in the lineup. 1st down carry and a gain of a couple.
Bobcats coming out, they got a little bit of different, cadence to their step, let's just say. They look a little bit lighter on their feet right now than they did 5 minutes ago. Let's see if they can make that missed field goal. We can turn that into points.
2nd down and 7. Anything to turn it around. Hicks in motion. Nash with the snap. Quick throw. Complete. Finding Cooper inside the 20. Down to the 16.
Just seems like a quicker rhythm. You see the Bobcats now getting up to the line of scrimmage real quickly.
I think it's a good move by Kerry Crabb, too, to shake things up at the quarterback position. Maybe give the offense a completely different feel with a new guy at the helm. 3 wide receivers to the left. They give it to Farrell over his left guard. Down to the 15, gain of perhaps a yard, and a 2nd down and 9 coming up for the Bobcats.
See if Saddleback can come away with some points here. Still 9.5 minutes, just a hair more remaining in the opening half. And if you can come away with, even if it's just 3 here, maybe get another stop on defense, and you can get yourself in this game here before halftime.
Yeah, anything to change the momentum, which has been all one-sided so far. Hicks out of the backfield. Nash looking left, now throws over the middle, has a man juggled, caught, touchdown.
That's a heck of a catch right there. What the Bobcats needed. Yasir Berry just goes back and turns around, grabs it behind him. Look at this play.
That's a well-designed play as they cross at about the 10-yard line, and Berry ends up in the clear. He's 5 yards clear.
Bobcats needed that right there, Jeff.
For Berry, that's his 2nd touchdown reception of the season. And for Drew Nash, comes in and leads this Bobcat offense down the field. They go 80 yards for the touchdown. Extra point is no good. Did they call that no good? Sorry, Brett.
They called it no good.
Yeah.
I only saw one official who had his hands straight out like almost like a jet plane, which I'm assuming means missed field goal. The other guy didn't do anything. So.
Yeah, and it's still 20-6 on the scoreboard, so it looks like that was indeed no good. So the Bobcats still trail it by 14 with 9:14 to go here in the first half.
I go back to that Mount Sac drive when they had the ball at the Saddleback, what was it, at 21 with 4th and 1 or the 20-yard line, something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm still a little bit puzzled they didn't go for it. Saddleback ends up catching a break, a missed field goal, and then all of a sudden things turn around. And I sometimes you see things, and I'm sure there must have been good reason they decided to kick a field goal.
Obviously, there's a measure of speculation when we're up here, but I have a hard time believing when it's 4th and 1 at the 19 and they send out the field goal unit that the reaction on the sideline at the Bobcats is anything other than thank you.
Yeah,
I mean, I have to feel like they were probably feeling pretty good whether that field goal was made or not.
Right. They were taking extra precautions. They had a lot of big bodies in there, did Saddleback, and then Sack decided to go for a field goal, and the rest is history. It's now a 14-point
Taken from the goal line up to the 25 and a good hole at the 30, 35 out near the 40, so a good return now for the Mounties. As it's Marcus Brown who finds a good lane and then able to slip out of a couple of tackles and get all the way out to the 40-yard line.
Well, it's good to see the Bobcats on the board, 9 minutes, see if their defense can get a turnover.
Yep.
And turn this thing around. Saddleback defense has been so strong all season long.
Yeah, they had
a little flat-footed today, but got a lot of time left.
They had 3 turnovers last week in the loss to Ventura, and they were costly. And so far, 1 here tonight, but it proved to be very costly as Flores immediately went deep to Shamar Savage for a quick touchdown. So it was a quick 6 after the interception. Kauni on the carry wrapped up after a gain of 3 out to the 44.
Saddleback with a lot of pursuit there, 5 or 6 guys attacking the football. You like to see that. Look at this. What is there, 4 or 5 guys right there on that tackle?
Yeah, absolutely.
Handful of Bobcats in on the play. Number 30, Tim Jones, who's had a big season for Saddleback right there.
Tim Jones, worth mentioning here, 23 tackles so far over the first 4 games. The next highest on the team is 13. So to say that this guy spearheads the offense, mild understatement. 2nd down and 7. Flores looking over the middle in the pass, incomplete.
Again, just what the doctor ordered if you're Saddleback. If Mount Sac wants to stop the clock and make it 3rd and long, I say you let him go ahead and do it.
David Cates, the intended receiver, and it's now 3rd down and 8. And the Mounties have been outstanding on 3rd down so far tonight, 4 of 6, but they have usually been of the much shorter variety. We've seen a lot of 3rd and 1s, 3rd and 2s so far tonight. This a little bit longer at 3rd and 8.
This is a big play right here.
Yeah, the Bobcats looking to get off the field here and keep this momentum going after the Nash to Berry touchdown on the previous drive. Flores. Good protection, throws on the right and completes for the 1st down, going to Irby to the Bobcat 46-yard line. That is a huge conversion for the Mounties.
Yeah, Flores and Irby, they make it look like they do this every day, all day. I mean, that was just an easy little pitch and catch. Got your wide receiver finding the sticks, getting just enough. That was 1st down.
Irby coming off 3 receptions for 28 yards in the victory over Bakersfield. Right back to him, and he is knocked out of bounds. That was Mason Young on the hit for Irby. Yeah, we're going to show you here. As meanwhile, the Mounties back with County running right, and he is stood up after a gain of perhaps a yard down to the 39, and another 3rd down coming up. This is a 3rd and 4.
Saddleback has gotten the Mounties into a lot of 3rd down situations, and it's remember the game last week where Ventura could do nothing wrong on 3rd down?
Yep.
And it's a similar feel here.
Yeah. Mountie opponents are converting just over 30% on 3rd down on the season. Another completion and appears to be another 1st down for the Mounties. And boy, at a certain point, you just have to give a lot of credit to Flores. Good, accurate throws on 3rd down. Not going for too much, but again, just finds his man for the 1st down, moves the chains once again.
Yeah, that one there looked like 89. Xavier Rawls just found a little soft spot in the zone.
Yeah, Rawls with the reception down to the 32. This is a good methodical drive for the Mounties, responding to the Bobcat touchdown. It started after a good return at their own 41. But they have it to the Bobcat 32, offset I formation. Running left and has a good lane. It's back to, I thought that was Floyd, but actually, let's correct that. Stevens.
Stevens, pretty good sized kid as a running back. He got outside, he got those shoulders square at 6'2", 210 out of Lakes in Washington.
Yeah, Yisrael Stevens with 5 carries over the first couple of games, averaging a little over 6 yards a carry. So he's part of that cadre of Mountie backs so far this season, and he gets it to the 21 for a 1st down. 1st and 10 from the Bobcat 21. Another bad snap. And now Flores going to have to fall on it back at the 35. And, boy, that's about as much as has gone wrong in this first half for the Mounties. It's been a little trouble with the exchange.
Yeah, no, it's happened 3 times. And 2 of them ended up like that. The other one, Flores made a great play and ended up gaining about 6 or 7 yards on it. But clearly there is some issues between the exchange, especially in the shotgun. It's happened all 3 times in the shotgun formation.
2nd down and 23 now for the Mounties, who had it on the move, but they set themselves back. Snap to Flores. Play action, has time, looking deep, over the middle, broken up.
Corbin Fagans, that's a heck of a play.
Working against Rawls again.
We saw that great kind of coverage out of Fagans last week. He and I forget who the other guy was. It Gushikin last week that both made some spectacular plays.
Yep.
Again, here we are, 3rd and really long. If you're the Bobcats, just don't commit a penalty, and you should be able to at least hold the Mounties to a field goal.
Yeah, Fagans had an interception early that was erased on a penalty, but he said that's all right. Came back and got an interception a little bit later in the game anyway.
Yeah, 3 plays later or something.
Said, you're not going to deny me. 3rd down and 23 from the 34.
I don't know what kind of range their kicker has, but
yeah, a long of 35.
At field goal range right now, you're looking at a 50-yarder, the last one.
Timeout taken by the Mounties with 5:30 to go here in the first half. Mount Sac with a 20-6 lead over Saddleback. It's Bobcat football here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. 3rd down and 23 from the Saddleback 33-yard line for the Mounties. Snap to Flores. Blitz coming. Pocket collapsing, and he dumps it short and completes. This will be a gain of about 3 or 4 yards. This, you would expect, still a little bit out of Carleton's range. This would be a 46-yard field goal, but it's 4th and about 18 or so, so not a lot of good options for the Mounties at this situation.
Yeah, no, Bobcat's got a player down. He's in pain. Chad Nushi's looking at the official, and he's saying, why wasn't there a penalty called on this play? I don't know if we have a shot at what happened behind the line of scrimmage, but the Bobcats got a guy down, and Nushi is up in arms wondering with the officials.
It was Jaden Allen on the reception as they continue to tend to the injured player with 5:18 remaining here in the first half.
And help him off the field. You never like to see that.
Let's take a quick break here, and we'll come back with the Mounties facing a 4th down, 20-6, here on SoCalCollegeSports.com.
Going for it, by the way.
4th down, and the Mounties will line up to go for it here.
Saddleback going to take a timeout. They didn't have the right personnel on the field.
And for the Bobcats, that will be their first charge timeout. And again, from the 29, not a lot of great options here. If you're the Mounties, it's 46-yard field goal. That's something of a non-starter, and I think they like to just let's take a shot here.
Yeah, the last field goal attempt was, I believe, right around 37 yards, and the ball never got above the goalposts. And so I don't know what their numbers are kicking the ball, but
yeah,
certainly if that's an indication of what they've got in that part of the special teams, then clearly they're out of field goal range, because this would be, somewhere in the neighborhood of 46, something like that. Best case scenario, and I think Mount Sac just says, we're kind of in no man's land here. We're at the 29.
Yep.
We got a bunch of big wide receivers, guys that are big targets, 6'5". Let's just give it a shot and see what we can come up with. Worst case scenario, Saddleback has the ball at the 29.
Yeah, the Mounties have not allowed a sack so far this season through 2 and just about a half games. We'll see if the Bobcats elect to just drop into coverage on a 4th and 18. Nope, they're going to come with the blitz. And Flores hit as he throws into the end zone. Incomplete. Anderson had his hands on it.
Boy, he had a step and a half on the defender, and he's going to be seeing that one tonight in his dreams, because that thing was laid right in there by Flores.
Yeah, this is a gutsy call on 4th and 18 to come with the blitz. But it worked for the Bobcats. They got to Flores, but boy, he delivered a strike anyway. He gets this one off, and Anderson had worked about a yard or so behind Gushikin, and he got his mitts on it.
See the reaction by Dakota Warfield there. He's like, oh, no, man, you dropped it.
Wow. And Anderson, he's the leading receiver for this team coming into this game, and he's got 3 touchdowns over the first 2 games. So we saw him have a big play on that opening drive. But, they went to option number 1, and they got it in his hands, and that is, in a first half of breaks, I guess, for both teams, maybe that's the biggest break that either team has had. As the Bobcats dodge a bullet there, Anderson just can't come down with that football, and it stays at 20-6. Meanwhile, a first down carry for Anthodius Ashley for about a loss of a yard or so back to the 26. In fact, they're not going to give Ashley much of a spot. This will be a loss of 3.
Yeah, we talked about it like 7-8 minutes ago. Saddleback caught a break on the field goal attempt. They made it stick. They went down, got a touchdown. If they can do it again, all of a sudden now you've got a football game at halftime, right?
Yeah, Nash remains in the game on a designed roll.
He could take off
Still
and run
looking.
here.
And now he is forced out of bounds. Malachi Harrison coming up to knock him out of bounds, and that's great coverage. That's a gain of perhaps a yard or two for Nash, but that's all about the coverage in the secondary. Nowhere for Nash to go with the football.
Yeah, not only that, but it's just guys staying in their lanes on defense. Tyron Brooks, who was outside at linebacker there, he had the option of hanging back, trying to put it himself in coverage, but he came up and he made Nash make a decision. Nash decided to run, got pushed out for a short gain.
3rd and 11 now. Nash taking a shot deep, looking for Berry, who goes up high. He's got it.
Well, the Bobcats going to their big weapons. Remember we talked about it last week, Jeff? We said, where's Yasir Berry at halftime? Came out at a big second half. Nice to see him making some plays here again in the first half.
Look at him elevate for that football. That is the first 3rd down conversion for the Bobcats tonight. They're now 1 of 3, and that's a big one that keeps the drive going. They'll go back to the ground on 1st down, and again, nothing doing. A loss on the play. As Ashley back up quickly, but he is having a struggle against this Mountie defensive line.
Yeah, fortunately, Ashley held onto the ball there. All the Mounties, they're going right after the football, trying to strip it. That's the kind of football that they teach. It's a good theory. It's a good philosophy. It's gotten them a lot of turnovers over the years.
Yeah, with the turnover here in the first half, they're now +7. And again, just about 2.5 games of turnover. So they have been effective taking the ball away as well as holding onto it themselves as Farrell checks into the game and moves the pile for a gain of about 4 and another 3rd down coming up. This will be a 3rd down and about 7.
With just over 3 minutes left, you kind of wonder if perhaps this is 4-down territory for the Bobcats.
I don't think there's any question about it from the 34. Nash rolling, looking, throws on the near side, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, in and out of the hands, it seemed like number 12 there for the Bobcats, Kalen Coates.
Yeah, Kalen Coates, a returner from 2019. And again, looked like Nash delivered a pretty good throw there. Coates got his hands on it but couldn't come down with it. Now it's 4th and 7, and again from the 34. Field goal really not in the picture, and they're going to line up to go for it. On the season, Saddleback 6 of 8 on 4th down. Man in motion trying to set up the screen, and they do, going right back to Coates. Coates up the middle. He's at the 15, 10, 5, in for the touchdown.
What a burst of speed by Kalen Coates. Did you see him hit the Jets out around the 20-yard line?
Now, you're going to have to check my memory here, but Kalen Coates, that's his 5th catch on the season, his 2nd touchdown. But if I remember right, going back to week 1, his other touchdown was on a very similar play, if not an identical play. I think it was a screen that they set up in the middle of the field, and Coates took it and did the rest. I'm pretty sure my memory is right on that, but Coates going back to the well, and the Bobcats back into this one. It's a 1-score game. They're going to line up and go for 2.
That's a perfect execution of a perfect play call. I think they ought to be very happy with themselves, the Bobcats, in the locker room right now, or at least in the coach's box.
Nash in all kinds of trouble, and he is going to be taken down way back outside the 20, but it won't matter. It's a failed 2-point conversion, and it'll stay at 20-12. And how about for a storyline this season? How about Bobcat quarterbacks coming on in relief? We saw DJ Ralph back in the East Los Angeles College game, trailing 19-0. They come back and win it 30-0. Well, now, hey, listen, relief quarterbacks here are leading 42-0 as I count it this season for the Bobcats.
Good theory.
Yeah,
Next time, just start your starter and bring the other guy into the second drive, right?
Hey, what better time than the Major League Baseball playoffs to talk about going to the bullpen? But it looks like it's working for Kerry Crabb as he goes to Drew Nash, back-to-back scoring drives. And, boy, who would have thought that the way this one started in the first couple minutes, we'd be talking about a 1-score game with 2:55 to go.
You love to see it. The fellas bounce back, and it shows they got a lot of pride on that sideline, and had a lot of things just go the wrong way in the first quarter. I mean, we talked about it last week with East LA. Just a ton of things just went the wrong way. Balls were bouncing the wrong way.
Yep.
You just seemed to be an eyelash away from making a catch, all those kinds of things, and then all of a sudden now we got a completely different football game, 10 minutes later.
And let's stay with this just long enough to talk a little bit about Drew Nash, who was taken out of the game. Now there's some trouble on the kickoff. Taken at the goal line. The Mounties are going to be in some big trouble, but no. Now another move in a big lane. Big return from the Mounties. One man to beat out near midfield. Talk about averting disaster.
Yeah, boy, the Bobcats have had a little problem here in
Marcus Brown again.
Right. This one was left on a silver platter for him right here. I mean,
yeah, it was Luton having a little trouble with it, and then Brown goes back to get it, and you think, well, they're going to start about the 5-yard line here. But what about Brown? tremendous vision, finds a little lane, and gets this one all the way out near midfield. I just wanted to stay with Drew Nash very quickly. Here's a young man, played the first 2.5 games of the season, removed at halftime in the East Los Angeles game, trailing 19-0. Doesn't play for the rest of that game, all of last week against Ventura. Comes back here in relief tonight and responds. It's just a great statement about Drew Nash and the ability there to really stay with it and come back and get himself ready to play.
You really like to see that. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, he had such high hopes at the beginning of the year, and you know, this season more than any other, these teams are just filled with freshmen, and you know, the inconsistency of the offense in the first couple of weeks should never be, you know, a one-person problem. I mean, it was collectively a unit. They just weren't getting things done.
Pierre able to stiff arm a man and pick up additional yardage into Bobcat territory at the 44. That's a gain of 12, and it will move the chains. Yeah, I mean, it would have been so easy for a guy like Drew Nash to, let the disappointment maybe get the best of him, and let it start to affect him. But obviously that has not been the case. He really stayed with it, and he has come out here and been fantastic when he gets another chance to contribute.
No, it's great. I mean, I know the coaches have been high on him ever since the first time they laid eyes on him, and it's great to see him get back out there and make some plays and get his football team back in the game.
First down for the Mounties. Flores under pressure, hit as he throws, and it's incomplete.
That's just good pressure up front from Saddleback right there.
I think it was Chad Nucci, was that right?
Chad Nucci, yeah. He came in unblocked. Somebody missed an assignment there.
You know, every team has at least one guy, and more than one, that rushes the passer that just has a great motor. And I think it's Chad Nucci on this team. Seemingly call his name a lot, and he just does a tremendous job on the pass rush of just never stopping.
Mounties are really fortunate that Flores saw him out of the corner of his eye, because he could have very easily taken a shot in the back and fumbled that thing away.
Yep, 2nd and 10 from the Bobcat 44. 1:34 remaining here. Flores going to take another shot deep, going for Savage, and that one incomplete.
Yeah, he's looking
Savage
for an
wants a flag,
call, but he misplayed the football. It's like a center fielder that lost it in the lights or something.
Meanwhile, Flores was hit as he throws again. And, well, I got to tell you, from that angle, Savage has a little bit of a case there. Watch on the left arm there as he sort of gets pulled on that one. And maybe the Bobcats catch a little bit of a break there, as there was definitely some contact. I'm getting a look from our producer, Mike Spada. And, I think that let's just say it's arguable that you could have thrown a flag there. Meanwhile, it's 3rd and 10. We have a timeout on the field. 1:27 to go here in the first half. And the Mounties with a 20-12 lead. It's Saddleback College Football on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Third down and 10 for Mount Sac at the Saddleback 44.
Yeah, you got to wonder what Mount Sac's thinking here and turn it down to distance. Are they playing for 4 downs, or are they going to go for a first down right here?
3-man rush. Flores throws on the near side, and the catch is made by Irby very near the first down marker, and he's got enough.
Boy, he seems to be the go-to guy on those third down plays. Irby, that's the second time. The other time was on the other side of the field.
Yeah, and a very similar play. Just a quick out, and the point you made earlier, and I think it's accurate here once again, the timing is really good between Flores and Irby.
We saw it last week with the wide receiver of Ventura. The name escapes me.
Yeah, Terrell Vaughn?
Yeah, Terrell Vaughn. He was their go-to guy on third down. He made all the big plays down the stretch.
Big third down conversion. Flores stepping up into the pocket, still looking downfield. He's under pressure. He'll take it and run himself. Finally run out of bounds by Hernandez at about the 25. That's a gain of 9.
You see Big Hernandez here following him. He's like, oh, man, I just want to get this kid. I can't get him.
You just have to settle for running him out of bounds, Drew. 2nd down and 1 for Mount San Antonio College. And, again, 3rd down, as it so often is a big storyline. They're 7 of 10 on 3rd down. That was a big 3rd down conversion moments ago to keep this drive going.
Your goal right now is keep them out of the end zone. If you give up a field goal, that's fine. They get into the end zone, I think you go in probably a little disappointed. But
114 as County picking his way forward, a gain of a couple. That's enough for a 1st down. The Mounties have 1 timeout remaining, but they'll stop the clock to move the chains. 1:07 to go here in the 1st half.
Minute left, the Bobcats, and they got 1 timeout left. If I'm Saddleback, I might even use that timeout, give myself a breather, because I think it's really critical they keep them out of the end zone here.
Yeah, under a minute to go. Flores stepping up, looking into the end zone again. Savage lays out, but he can't come up with it.
Tell you what, they have got some big wide receivers on
Yeah, what is
team.
the height on Shamar Savage?
Shamar Savage is 6'4" and 210. And
well, we sometimes wonder aloud if the weights are accurate. Not so sure I believe 6'4". I think he's a little bit taller.
He's a big kid. Clearly, these are the biggest wide receivers the Saddleback defense have seen all year.
Yes, 2nd and 10 now from the 23 with 46 seconds remaining here in the 1st half.
You know how to do that?
Flores has already thrown 3 touchdown passes in the 1st half. Dumps this one short, looking for Pierre. It's his 5th catch, but this is going to be a loss as Jones was all over that play. It's a loss back to the 25.
Yeah, now Mount Sac's going to have to use that timeout with 34 seconds left. Otherwise, they were going to burn at least 15 seconds before the next play. So 32 on the clock. Bobcats down 8. Not signs of a great kicking game from Mount Sac, although we've only got one kick as a sample.
Right. Small sample size, but yes.
Yeah.
They will give Pierre forward momentum to the 23, so it'll go down as no gain, but it's 3rd and 10 from the 23 right here. This would be a 40-yarder. That seems to be both statistically and from our observation to be the outside of Carleton's range. His long this year is 35.
Yeah, I just see Mount Sac going to the end zone here. I mean, they've got those big red zone targets. Bobcats playing a lot of single coverage.
I think there's
quarterback that's throwing the ball in the money.
Well, you can't throw it short of the 1st down and inbounds because that'll be 4th down. The clock will be moving, and you don't have the ability to spike it.
Might even see 2 shots at the end zone here.
Yeah, so I expect that you're right here. I think you're going to see a shot into the end zone. Certainly look toward the sidelines with anything with the Mounties out of timeouts. 32 seconds remaining here in the 1st half. 3 wide receivers to the right for Flores. Has the snap. 4-man rush. Flores steps up, throws incomplete. He wanted to go back to Irby, and to the point that we were making moments ago, I think it's a good thing for the Mounties that catch is not made by Irby. That is going to be a great situation for the Bobcats if Irby makes this catch, because I don't think he's getting the 1st down.
Yeah, it's 4th down now, and clearly they are in go mode here if you're the Mounties, and with 28 seconds left, obviously they're not playing just for 10 here. I think they're playing for 7.
28 seconds remaining. Snap to Flores. Looking right. Throws, high throw, and it's picked off. It's Sanders with the interception. Oh, I should say Mason Young with the interception. Not really too much importance.
One of those things, Jeff, that looks great on the stats. You'd like to see the kid just drop it, right?
Yep.
Because now, rather than getting the ball on the 30, you got the ball on the 5.
Yep. 22 seconds remaining, and the Bobcats with 1 timeout, but obviously from the 5, you have to expect they're going to be happy just to head into the locker room, and this is an unbelievable turnaround when you go back to the first few minutes of this game.
I'm just telling you, I'd run another screenplay, right? I mean, that thing worked pretty well.
Where's Kalen Coates? Get him on the field. Nash will come out, and they will run one final play. Nearly disastrous. Hicks is hit at the line and driven back into the end zone, but they're going to say that the forward momentum, I believe, had him at about even the 2-yard line, so he manages to stay out. But this was almost exactly what you don't want to see.
That's going to do it for the half there.
Final play of the first half. We will head to the locker room. 20-12 at the half. Mount Sac leading Saddleback. It's Saddleback College football here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Underway to start the second half. The Bobcats will have it first as they'll work it from left to right, and another good return out past the 32, the 33-yard line. What had been a 20-0 lead for Mount San Antonio College is now 20-12 as the Bobcats will start. There is a flag on the return as you get a look at some of the first half stats individually, and you see the big first half for Alex Flores, 15 of 25, 241 yards and 3 touchdowns. Kiowa Kaoni leading the way on the ground with 65 yards, and Flores has done a good job spreading it around, at least in terms of the touchdowns, finding Anderson, Savage, as well as Bongano with touchdown passes in that first half. Meanwhile, for Saddleback, it was Drew Nash who came on hitting 5 of 6 for a couple of touchdowns in relief of DJ Ralph, who helped bring the Bobcats back. Wimmer cuts it back. He's out past the 15 and dragging tacklers to the 21 for a gain of 8.
Good physical run there by Andrew Wimmer. Good way to start the half if you're the Bobcats.
Yeah, Wimmer had just a couple of carries in the first half for 3 yards. So they will look to get him established here in the second half. He far and away leads the team in rushing so far this season. They'll go back to Wimmer running right, able to slip a tackle. He's got the first down out to the 27. Back-to-back runs for Wimmer and a first down for the Bobcats.
You know, if you're Saddleback, really, you're within one play of being back in this deal, and there was a time when things looked fairly ominous there in the early goings, Jeff. I mean, you look at some of the stats, and they were fairly lopsided in favor of Mount Sac, in particular in the first quarter. But, you know, when you got a one-possession game, you're never out of it.
And this is a one-possession game at 20-12. Play action and a quick throw to Hicks. Hicks breaks a tackle. He's out past the 35 before he stood up and driven back. Let's see how much forward momentum they give him. Solid gain and a catch here for Hicks as he able to get away from Smith, Aaron Smith that is, before he is driven back by Dedrick Luton. The gain is to the 35. That's 8 yards, bringing up a 2nd and 2. Wimmer with a little cut to his right, and he is close to the first down at the 37. It looks to me like he's got it as I eyeball it, and they will move the chains.
Mount Sac, fortunate that that tackle was made because there was no pursuit beyond the line of scrimmage if he gets through.
Yeah, Wimmer's run is good for 2 yards and a first down, back-to-back first downs. And the Bobcats have it to their own 37, 1st and 10. Again, first drive here in the third quarter in a 20-12 game. The Bobcats trying to get themselves all the way back after they trailed at 20-0 in the first quarter.
Yeah, they're showing a little more tempo on offense. You know, Saddleback only had the ball for just over 9 minutes in that first half, and so they would desperately love to have a nice long drive, keep the defense off the field, because so far, you know, the defense was on the field. The sheet here says 20 minutes and 17 seconds in the first half. That's a lot of time logged for your defense.
Meanwhile, Wimmer is swallowed up by Saliato Tuia for a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 11. Now, over 20 minutes in the first half for the Mountie offense. Time of possession. Quick slant complete. This is Cooper near the first down marker at the 47. It's going to come down to the spot, and it looks like Cooper's got it. His second catch is good enough to give the Bobcats another first down.
Yeah, Cooper took a shot. One of the big fellas, number 92, Inoki Kato, he came back into coverage. I mean, that's a big guy coming back to make a tackle.
Dual setbacks on 1st and 10 from the 47. Wimmer over his right guard and falls forward for a gain of a yard to the 48. Alo. Among the first to get there for Mount San Antonio College.
Saddleback now with a 2nd down and 8. They've effectively moved this ball. Good drive so far. Consumed about 3 minutes.
2nd down and 9 from the 48. Receivers left and right looking right. Complete again to Cooper, who takes another big hit, but appears to have enough for another first down into Mountie territory at the 42.
Saddleback has found a little something on these slant patterns.
Meanwhile, Nash
continues
to be dialed in. Came in completing just over 52% of his passes, but he has been outstanding coming on in relief for Ralph, and we've got whistles before the snap.
I think it's going to be a false start against the Bobcats. So
And that is a momentum killer
That
as they
won't
were
help
on the
anything.
move. Yep. In the first half, it was Saddleback with now 6 penalties for 65 yards. Mount San Antonio College, for all the talk of the 16 penalties per game, just 3 in the first half for 30 yards. 1st and 15 as Nash has the Bobcats at the line, and another flag comes in. Is this another false start? And now the Bobcats start to back themselves up. It's 1st and 20. They're back in their own territory.
that won't help anything.
Well, I started to make the point that with Nash a little more of a pocket presence than DJ Ralph, it starts with good protection up front, and the offensive line has had a solid game here tonight. No sacks for either team as they play here in the third quarter. Quick throw back to Cooper. Able to shed a couple of tackles. He's inside the 45, down to the 44.
Yeah, if you're Mount Sac, you'd like to see your guy come up and make a tackle there. 21 on the play. Aaron Smith just missed Cooper and allowed him to get an extra 6 or 7 yards out of the play.
Yeah, Smith has had a little bit of a struggle on this drive, trying to corral these Bobcat receivers. That takes it to the 44. 2nd down and 12. Wimmer running left. Back near the original line of scrimmage at the 42. A gain of 2 will make it 3rd down and 10 for the Bobcats, who are 1 of 4 tonight on 3rd down.
It looks like they're going to put the ball right at about the 42, it seems, yeah.
They'll spread it out with receivers left and right. 4-man rush. Nash on the move, finds Cooper again. Just shy of the 35. Luton wraps him up at the 36. That's a gain of 6. It'll bring up a 4th down and 4 and a decision for Kerry Crabb.
Yeah, it's interesting because Cooper tried the exact same move that he pulled a couple plays earlier, but Luton wasn't biting on it this time.
Well, why not? If it's working. Meanwhile, it's a 4th and 4, and the Bobcats will elect to gamble. They're 6 of 8 coming into tonight on 4th down.
It's a big play right now
So
in this
far,
football game.
1 of 1. Nash
Got a guy.
looking, throws, completes, finds Hicks for a 1st down. 4th down conversion for the Bobcats down to the Mountie 22.
You know, Jeff, we talked about it in the second quarter. We talked, the emotion, it could be changed. I feel right now that the emotion has officially changed with this drive because they have now driven effectively close to 75 yards. This is their best sustained drive of the game.
Wimmer on the handoff, has a good hole. He's inside the 20, down to the 17. That's a 5-yard run for Andrew Wimmer. And a 2nd and 5 for the Bobcats, looking to potentially pull into a tie here if they can come up with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
Yeah, I mean, the talk around the water cooler at halftime was like, kind of how are we in this thing? Now I think officially you can say Saddleback's in the football game.
Wimmer dropped after a gain of a yard. That was Toale on the tackle. That's a leading tackler for the for the Mounties this season.
3rd and a short 5 here for Saddleback.
Yeah, that was Toale Lafau on the stop. So a 2nd down, I should say a 3rd down and 4. Nash gets it off and completes to Roebuck, who's just tripped up at the 10. But that is good enough for another 1st down.
That's a heck of a catch right there by Roebuck. That thing was coming in with some heat on it, and he just snatched it out of the air. Watch this.
Yeah, Jacob Gaskin.
Oh, yeah.
On the blind side, almost gets there, but Nash feels the pressure, finds Roebuck for a big 3rd down conversion.
When
the
you
drive
slow
continues.
it down and in instant replay, it looks a lot easier than it is, but that ball was coming hot.
Good hands from Roebuck. 1st down carry for Wimmer, just tripped up, touchdown saving tackle as Wimmer gets inside the 5.
There is a bounce in the step to the Bobcats right now.
And let's watch there and just see tripping him up.
He reaches over.
And meanwhile, back to live action, and the Bobcats think they've got a touchdown.
They do.
And they do.
Yeah, Wimmer just reached over, and, there you can see it. He got his whole body over, but.
Yeah, Wimmer got it down to the 1, gets the call again, in for the touchdown, and the Bobcats will now look to tie this one up, or
I don't think there's any question. That's the best. That might be, Jeff, the best drive of the season for Saddleback right there. I mean, where did they start that drive? At their own 5?
They were out at the remember at that one. They had the return.
Yeah, I thought, but weren't we?
They're going to line up to
5
go
at
for
one
the
point?
extra point here, so they're not going to try for the tie, but rather they will send out Connor Grace to attempt the extra point. It was a sustained drive, and the distance is one thing, and it was a long drive, but how about the time of possession? 7 minutes and 17 seconds. That almost evens up the time of possession in this game, which was one-sided in the first half.
That's the best drive of the season. I've officially called it right here.
Yeah.
They needed it. They
I'm not
got
going to
it,
argue.
And suddenly what was a 20-0 football game is now a 1-point game.
Wimmer with his second rushing touchdown of the season caps it off. But how about Drew Nash since coming on? 12 of 13, 202 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Exactly what the doctor ordered.
How about this guy? That is an unbelievable comeback for Drew Nash and this Bobcat team that is back within a point midway through the third quarter. And, you know, we keep on making the point, but I think it's worth making. This is something that would have been hard to foresee just a few minutes into this game, going back into the first quarter.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now it's the Mounties that no doubt have to be a little bit back on their heels, and they've got to find a way to respond. Still a lot of time to go here, 7:43 to go in the third quarter, and their lead's down to 1.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. The momentum has shifted. You could see it about midway through that drive, once Saddleback picked up that first down around midfield, that the Mounties knew they were in for a battle.
Brown
now you got to get a stop on this play.
Has had a big first half returning kicks, and he's out to the 26. That's a 26-yard return, and that's where Mount San Antonio College will go to work.
Late flag coming in out around the 35.
Is this possibly where we saw a late hit? We're going to take you back to the touchdown as the Bobcats moved quickly to get this one going, and it's Wimmer. And watch the way that Wimmer, it's second effort here for Wimmer as he is hit behind the line by Tyron Brooks. But he drags a couple of tacklers and then reaches out with that football, and Wimmer gets in.
I think we're going to have a big penalty going against Mount Sac here. So
the flag's going to go against Mount Sac, so they will start with very poor field position back at their own 11-yard line.
If you're the Mounties, things are really unraveling right now. This feels like the first quarter for the Bobcats, does it not?
It really does, and it's been methodical the way the comeback has been for the Bobcats, but they have really dominated the action since really the start of the second quarter.
Great moment for the coaching staff. They're going to be so happy. I mean, down 20-0. I mean, they're not feeling very good at that point. You know, it's tough to come back from 20-0, but we still got a half of the third quarter to go.
And I think if you're Mount Sac, you still can have a lot of confidence here. They have had the 3 touchdowns, but also they had another deep drive that ended in a missed field goal, another deep drive that ended as they turned it over on downs with the late interception in the first half. So they have continued to be able to move the football really throughout.
Well, will they go back to their bread and butter classic running, or are they going to try to throw it around again?
It's going to start with a throw and a completion to Anderson out to the 22. This is near the first down marker, but he's about a half a yard shy.
Yeah, they made a couple of big strike plays in that first half. Other than that, they kind of methodically moved the ball down the field, Mount Sac. They just came up empty a couple times in the red zone.
Well, Flores is up to 26 throws in the game. In the running game, the Mounties are averaging just about 3.5 yards a carry, so they haven't really dominated with the running game, but they have really gone away from it here late in the first half and now at the start of the third quarter. And now the quick pitch to Cowney.
That's not going anywhere.
And he is hit in the backfield and then dropped. And did the football come out? The Bobcats are saying they've got it.
Holy cow. Look
and
at this.
They do.
Coming out of the middle of the pile. I believe it's Isaiah Sierra.
Well, this is blown up early in the backfield. It looked like Nushi again getting back there, and he got the first hit
I think
that Cowney
Isaiah
got away
Sierra
from.
Came up with the ball, did he not?
Yeah.
See who comes out of this pile afterwards. If it's the number 44, that'll be Isaiah Sierra. Well, waiting. Do we got up? Oh, there he is. Look at that.
Indeed, Sierra. We had a big interception a week ago, and now he has a big fumble recovery. And how about this? The Bobcats have it in the red zone. They're looking for the lead. They'll come back with Wimmer in the deep eye.
It is strange from week to week watching this game, I tell you, Jeff. You just never know what you're going to get.
Play action. Nash on a designed roll, throwing into the end zone. Broken up.
That could have been interference there. That was close.
Going for Yasir Berry, covered by Malachi Harrison. And Harrison just able to get a hand in. This is a tough throw for Nash. A little bit across his body, but he gets it there, but that's a great job on coverage. Harrison gets a hand in and breaks that up. 2nd down and 10. Well, you wonder at some level, and between these two teams as we look ahead here to this last quarter and a half, if this might be the kind of game as Maxwell is hit immediately after the catch. A gain of a couple of yards will bring up a 3rd down and 8. But you get the feeling that this might be one of those kinds of games that becomes something of a season-defining game for the teams involved.
Yeah, Saddleback's really found something here. A lot of rollout plays. And really, there's one cut block to be made, and then Nash has got nothing but open space in front of him. I've seen it about 5 or 6 times in a row now.
Maxwell back in motion on a 3rd down and 7, and now we've got another false start, and it's 3rd down and 12, and it again appears to be more often than not, it's these types of false start penalties that are really bedeviling the Bobcats.
Bedeviling.
Well, I like to. Word I like to throw in there. So it's always been a personal favorite of mine. 3rd down and 12 now after they mark off the 5 yards, and you start to think about the implications for the field goal. And Connor Grace is 3 of 5. His long is just 28 yards, and Justin Kaplan's 1 of 2 as they share the kicking duties, and his long is 43 yards. So this would be 39 yards from where they are right now.
Yeah, maybe the idea is to get about half of this back, set yourself up at least in field goal range if you want to get one. Maybe you have the lead.
Straight drop. Nash hit as he throws. The pass incomplete. He was looking for Maxwell over the middle. And now it's 4th and 12 from the 22, and you got to try the field goal.
Bobcat's a little fortunate there. That ball was behind the receiver on the play, which was Maxwell, and it kind of popped up into the air. Those are those things that can get picked off if you don't get a good break. But fortunately, that one just fell dead to the ground.
It'll be Grace that will try the field goal from the right hash. This will be 39 yards. He's 3 of 5 on the season. This would be a season long.
Yeah, he's got this kind of length. Whether or not he can get it through those 2 gold pipes, we'll find out.
Kick is up long enough. No good.
He missed it just a little bit to the right. He pushed it a little bit. And then look at the Bobcats on the field. They're saying that was good. They're a little confused. Now the officials are meeting out there on the field.
Well, we've seen the Bobcats dodge a couple of bullets already in this one with some big moments. And this might be the first time that we can really talk about the Mounties dodging a bullet. That was a good stand by their defense. A little help from a penalty.
Yeah, you can see the official right there. He's looking straight over that pipe. The Bobcats are saying, we think it was good, but the official obviously had a pretty good view there.
Yeah, it's hard to be in a better spot, but the call goes against the Bobcats, and the score remains 20-19, as we'll bring you back to live action with a 1st and 10 from the 22.
Inches away from being ahead.
1st down handoff on the right side, pushing the pile for a gain of about 3 yards.
Yep. Well, it looks like we got a brand new ball game here. So
that was Nicholas Floyd on the carry, taking it to the 25.
See what the Saddleback defense can come up with here if they can get off the field again quickly.
2nd down and 7. Flores looking right and throws that one short. It's incomplete.
Yeah, he just short-armed that one.
Yeah, that might be maybe the only poor throw that we've seen from Flores tonight.
3rd down. What do you bet they want to throw it to number 6 on this play?
Yeah, going back to Irby as he was looking for Anderson, but Flores has been spot on. Really all season came in completing 70% of his passes, and he's picked it up here tonight. And he has been terrific for the Mounties, but he faces a 3rd and 7 here from the 25.
See if Saddleback can get some pressure. They're going deep.
Going deep. Again, looking for Anderson, who's gotten behind his man. He's got it into Bobcat territory at the 22. Another big play for the Mounties.
Boy, that was a beautiful pass right there by Flores.
Yeah, he throws a good deep ball. Similar to a play where we saw Anderson get his hands on it in the end zone and couldn't come up with it that time. Give the young man some credit. comes down with the football. That is a huge play all the way to the Bobcat 24. That is good for 51 yards. Anderson over 100 yards tonight with a touchdown.
Yeah, Mount Sac needed that right there.
Quick throw complete to Irby. They'll spot it at the 15. That's a yard shy of the first down. It'll be 2nd down and 1 as we are under 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. And now it's the Mounties maybe picking up a measure of momentum. They want to move quickly.
Oh, that's
and there's some movement on the left side of that offensive line.
Yeah, big
and
number
now it's
74.
Mount Sac that will back themselves up.
A couple guys actually moved there. I think the tackle actually moved first, and then 74, the guard, reacted to it.
So now it's 2nd and 6 after they move it back to the 20.
The Mounties giving the Bobcats a gift in return. Saddleback had a couple of those on their previous drive.
Well, and again, statistically speaking, the Mounties, the penalties haven't been a big problem, at least as compared to their averages for the season so far tonight. But that was poor timing, if for no other reason than they appeared to have a lot of momentum going offensively, and they really had the Bobcat defense back on their heels. But now the Bobcats can settle themselves and get back to it here, facing a 2nd and 6. Flores looking right, throws. He's got Anderson, who is able to fall forward for a first down. Sanders on the stop.
Yeah, they got that timing down on those plays pretty well, Mount Sac does. That's tough to defend for any team.
Well, and especially with these receivers that have shown an ability to get behind the defense and to be a factor vertically.
Yeah, you got to give them some space, and when you do, then they pick you apart along the sidelines.
1st and 10 from the 12. Flores again looking right, throws, back shoulder throw, and a touchdown. Right back to Anderson.
Yeah, frustrating possession there for Brian Sanders. He had to deal with Anderson that drive and slipped a little bit there. You saw him slip just a hair at about the 5, and that was all Anderson needed.
For Anderson, he's now got 5 touchdowns on the season. That's in not quite 3 games, but that's a great response by the Mounties as they go 78 yards and they answer back on the Saddleback score earlier in the third quarter. Extra point up and good, and back to an 8-point cushion for the Mounties. Mount Sac on top of Saddleback 27-19. It's Saddleback College football here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. (27-19). The Mounties back up 8 after Flores finds Anderson his 4th touchdown pass tonight. And for Anderson, he had the touchdown via the fumble recovery in the end zone on the completion to Dakota Warfield back in the first quarter. But that time he's got a touchdown reception of his own. Meanwhile, another good return out past the 32, the 35.
That was quite an amazing bounce-back drive for Mount Sac because all the momentum had switched sides of the field, and the Bobcats were doing everything right. And so Mount Sac answers the call. They get that lead back up to 8. Now we'll see what Saddleback can do. It seems like the offenses have kind of found their groove here in the last quarter and a half of this game.
Daniel Stokes with the good return takes it to the 35, and that's where Nash will take over with Wimmer in the backfield. Hicks in motion. Nash dumps it short to Wimmer. He's at the 35, out to the 40, and forced out of bounds by Brooks. At the 42, a gain of 7, and a 2nd down and 3 coming up for the Bobcats.
Safe little play, little swing pass to the outside. Mount Sac's giving it to you. So you might as well take it.
Yeah, it looked like Nash went through a couple of progressions and then saw nothing was there. It's a good decision to dump it off there to Wimmer, who turns it into 7 yards. 2nd down and 3. Wimmer on the carry. Little stutter step, and then he is drilled. Got to about the 44. A little bit short of the 1st down. Brooks, again, in on the tackle. And a big 3rd down and 1 for the Bobcats, who have had some trouble running the football tonight. 22 carries as a team for 52 yards, so this is not an automatic on a 3rd and 1. Nash. They go to Wimmer over his left guard. Second effort.
He might have gotten there. It's going to be close.
Looks like they're spotted at the 45, and by the initial spot, I think he got it. Boy, this is very close.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends on if I think they might have marked him just a hair shy.
Yeah, he's hit there at the 44, and then we talk about the second effort, and Wimmer trying to get to the 45.
Yeah, the Bobcats got a guy down right there in the middle of the field. I think they're.
So they will take a look at an injured Bobcat player. We'll step aside briefly. 2:57 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Mount Sac on top of Saddleback, 27-19 on SoCalCollegeSports.com. So Wimmer is about a half a yard shy. It's 4th down and about a foot for the Bobcats. And do they elect to roll the dice here from their own 44? They're sending the offense back out there.
Yeah, worst case scenario, you go out there and you try to pull them off sides, right? Maybe you get somebody to jump.
8 of 10 now on 4th down on the season. And Nash doesn't look like they want to run a play. 5 seconds.
Yeah, they're not.
He's going to look to the side there.
They're just going to.
Well, you're not really going to draw anybody off sides from that position. And instead, we'll see the punting unit. Kerry Crabb not going to make that gamble from the 44, and instead he'll send out Dylan Widener in the punting unit.
Tactical move by Coach Crabb and company. Generally speaking, when a team takes a timeout, they run a play. And so to see him come out and decide not to run a play was a little bit surprising. Well, it's actually 4th down. And
well, both teams.
They marked it 4th down and 6 here. Did I miss something?
It was an injury timeout. Well, yeah, they took the delay of game.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, elected rather than take a timeout, as both teams still have 3 timeouts remaining. So they'll take the 5 yards high kick from Widener. Fair catch made at the 28.
Flag comes in late.
And we've got a couple of players down near midfield and still sort of getting into it. And you wonder if this is going to be one of these flags on both sides. There's a little bit of fisticuffs at the end of the play. A little bit of shoving. And now they'll break it up. And actually, I'm not seeing any flags, so they're just going to let that go.
Isn't that one out there around the 32? Am I missing something right by the numbers? Behind the coach. Looks like
right there.
Hold there.
Good call.
Then you'll see the flag right there.
There it is. Yep. So this will go against Mount San Antonio College, and they'll back it up a little bit from the 28, and instead they'll start from the 18.
This is a big drive for the Saddleback defense right here. There's 2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. You can really ill afford to have Mount Sac go down and score a touchdown. A field goal is a different story. Field goal will make it an 11-point game, but I think it would be fairly deflating if Mount Sac went down and scored a touchdown here. But a lot of football left to be played.
They're going to have to find an answer to one Alex Flores, who's now at 332 yards and 4 touchdowns in the game. They've done a pretty good job against the Mountie running game. Play action. Flores throws it short finds Irby. Irby able to slip out of a tackle now, forced out of bounds, out near the 30.
Irby's a tricky one. He's hard to bring down, He's a pretty strong kid, and he's got good feet, good hands, and once he gets the ball, he kind of knows what to do with it. He always seems to know where those sticks are.
Yeah, the very definition of a possession receiver, you would think, for this Mountie team. And I misspoke earlier, he was out at the 29. But that is still enough to move the chains. Floyd sweeping to the right, tries to cut it back. He stood up at the 32 after a gain of about 3. Jordan Duson leading the charge.
Once again, good pursuit by the Bobcat defense against the run there.
2nd down and 7 for Mount San Antonio College. 1:28 as the clock continues to move, remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Another entertaining ball game here from Saddleback Stadium on SoCalCollegeSports.com. We had a good one last week, and this one has turned out to be another good one.
Every single week, it seems to be some other kind of mystery that we're having to solve here, and
I think the stadium is getting an early reputation. Some strange stuff happens here. Blitz coming, good protection for Flores initially. Now hit as he throws, and that one's nearly picked off. And that was, you talk about the rare bad throws from Alex Flores. That was a rare bad decision. Mason Young was in the area. That was a very risky throw.
Yeah, I was just going to say the exact same thing. That was just a bad decision here to throw this ball. He's just trying to get rid of it, and he's trying to find an open spot.
And there's Irby surrounded by 3 Bobcat defenders.
Very fortunate right there, Mount Sac, that they didn't get a turnover. See if they get a little more conservative here. Watch out for number 6 again. He always seems to be around the ball on 3rd and 6 or 7.
Yeah, 3rd and 7, and you see Irby closest to the line, 3 wide receivers to the left. Anderson solo to the right. He was big in the last drive, and they'll look for Anderson on the quick out. Nice catch by Reginald Anderson, going down to his knees, making the catch at the 44. That's a 12-yard gain and another big 3rd down conversion for the Mounties.
Young kid from Avalon, Maryland. Reginald Anderson, 5'11", 200 pounds. Looks good out there.
Brett, it's not a mystery as we watch here. They go back to the quick out. That is the 3rd down play, and that's what we've seen over and over again. But they execute so well. You have to give them a lot of credit.
Oh, another
more trouble with the snap. And then we lose the ball again.
This could be the one.
And the Bobcats have it.
Sean Owens. Or no, not Sean Owens. I thought it was 52. It's actually
Drew
62.
Drew Hernandez, I believe.
We talked about the snap earlier, Jeff. Eventually it's going to catch up with you. And right here, the Mounties do not get the break they've gotten 3 other times here tonight.
3rd time they've turned the ball over, and it's more trouble with the snap and another fumble. And the Bobcats quickly on top of it with another huge opportunity. Well, you think back to the game a couple of weeks ago against Bakersfield, and at first glance it was a rather routine 45-21 win, but that game late in the 3rd quarter was a 24-21 game. Wimmer hit behind the line. There's a big loss on the play.
Good play there by the Mount Sac defense. Wimmer just nowhere to go there on the outside.
Daniel Tupuola, who was the first to get there on what might be the final play of the 3rd quarter. But going back to that Bakersfield game, it was a 24-21 game at Mount San Antonio College late in the 3rd quarter of that game. So the Mounties, even in this short season so far, have at least found themselves in one very close game. They're in another one here as we head to the 4th quarter, 27-19. But the Bobcats have the ball in Mountie territory when we come back to start the 4th quarter on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Start of the 4th quarter from Saddleback Stadium. The Bobcats trailing by 8, but they've got it at the Mountie 37, facing a 2nd and 14. Hicks in motion. Snap to Nash. Looking right. Finds Wimmer in the flat. Makes a little move. He's down to the 30. Spins his way forward to the 27. Nice job picking up yardage after contact for Wimmer. 10-yard gain.
I like the way he just always keeps his legs moving. Look at this. Legs never quick moving. Feet are always moving. Always seems to get an extra 2-3 yards of push.
Wimmer, who came via San Diego Mesa to the Bobcats. He's been the leading back so far this season, leading rusher, but that time it was 10 yards on the reception, bringing up a 3rd down and 4. And the Bobcats tonight still struggling on 3rd down. They're 2 of 8. Snap to Nash. 3-man rush. Steps up over the middle, rather near side, and completes a good throw as he finds Barry inside the 10 at the 6.
Yeah, it's almost as if the defender for Mount Sac lost sight of the ball because that ball was hanging up in the air for a while. And number 12 there on the near side of the field for us, anyways. Mikael Johnson just a little bit slow in the reaction there.
Yeah, that's another great throw from Nash. Gets it inside the 10. They're at the 6. Nash under pressure, throws into the end zone. Touchdown! Finding Hicks.
Gotta like that. Hicks hangs on to it.
I'll tell you, those are a couple of gutsy throws from Drew Nash on that drive. Finds Barry,
Hicks posing for the camera there. You got to like that.
who he can't even see on the previous play, and then here squeezes it in on the far side, finding Hicks for the touchdown. The quarterback duel continues, Flores and Nash. Nash now up to 249 yards and 3 touchdowns in the game. For Hicks, it's touchdown number 2 on the season.
Now the Bobcats are going for 1 here. I don't understand this decision. You're down 2, but now you're going to get an offsides. Now maybe you do line up.
Yeah, now it would be from the 1. I don't know how at this point. I mean, there's a lot of time it's 13:54, but really, what are you gaining here picking up the 1 point? I'm a little bit mystified.
Yeah, I think they're going to switch that choice there. I think they're going to go for it now.
Yeah, well, certainly now from the 1. Though I say they're going to go for it from the 1, but I was a little bit surprised by the call even from the 2. I think we both were, but
I've been surprised by the last 3 touchdowns for the Bobcats. I thought they should go for 1 the first time. And
they were
went
trailing
for
20-6 as you get another look at the replay and the catch by Hicks as Nash leads the Bobcats in for another touchdown as they continue to try and scale this mountain, and that's what it really was, trailing 20-0. And now 27-25, and they will go for 2 from the 1. Nash on the keeper, he's in! Tie ball game!
Nash can get that for you. He's a big kid.
That's a great read by Nash on the option, and they are at the peak of the mountain. It's tied now 27 apiece.
Who would have thunk it, right? I mean, when it was 20-0 and everything was going the way of the Mounties, that Saddleback would score 27 out of the next 34 points.
13:54 to go, and the Bobcats are all the way back, and the Mounties have got to be reeling at this point, thinking, how do we get rid of this team? These guys just keep coming back.
Well, the Saddleback offense didn't do anything for a quarter and a half, and seemingly they can't do anything wrong right now.
Yep. Well, 3 turnovers for the Mounties have certainly set them back, and for the Bobcats, they have made the most of it. As that time, they force the fumble and then take advantage of the short field and tie this one up at 27. Well, you thought last week was good. How about this one?
Never gets boring around here, Jeff.
So the Bobcats will tee it up. Back to where they started, what feels like so long ago.
Be nice if Saddleback could get a good tackle here on a kick return. We struggled a little bit at that tonight.
The
They
Mounties
did get a good stop on the first kick here in the second half.
Yeah, as a team, the Mounties averaging only 20 yards a return on kicks, but tonight it's been considerably better, led by Brown, and here's another good return out to the 30. So a 30-yard return, and the Mounties start with solid field position at their own 30. And this looked like it really could have been trouble. on that near side.
Well, now the game is officially even. We got a new ball game.
13:48 to go. And I think if you're the Mounties, it's really just about taking care of the football. Again, they have been able to make some things happen offensively, but the 3 turnovers now, and they've been costly.
Yeah, they've been a little bit careless with the football. It's almost like they got up 20-0, thought they could kind of snooze their way through it. Saddleback just never went away. You got to give them credit.
And they've also almost completely abandoned the running game, it would seem, here in the second half. And again, play action. Flores will look to throw on first down. Dakota Warfield lays out, but it's incomplete. And it's 2nd and 10. And I know that the Bobcats have been tough to run on all season. They've done a pretty good job tonight, but I think it makes you wonder. They really have gone away. You've seen very few running plays really since the first quarter.
Yeah, I just keep waiting on one of these little crossing or slant patterns. At some point, you're going to see a defender step in front of one of those things.
They will run it on 2nd down and 10.
Picked up about 5, setting up clearly the biggest third down.
That was Bradley on the carry.
Yeah, biggest third down play Mount Sacs had all night right here. They got to get a first down.
5-yard run brings up a 3rd and 5, and where the Bobcats have struggled, Saddleback has been, or I should say Mount Sac has been lights out, 9 of 13 on 3rd down. And they've been great on 3rd down all season, even going back to their previous 2 games that saw them up over 50% on 3rd down conversions. Flores with 3 wide receivers to the left. Low snap, but he's got it, throws, and completes just enough for a first down.
83 got careless with the ball. He's fortunate he didn't lose that.
Yeah, trying to reach out. It was Bungano who had a touchdown catch earlier in the game. This is a big 3rd down reception, but this is a risky play. As he's hit by DeFreeze, and as he tries to reach out, that ball comes out, but they're going to say that he was down. It's a 7-yard completion on 3rd and 5 and a fresh set of downs for the Mounties.
Coaching staff over on the sidelines of Mount Sac right now kind of scratching your heads. They're telling them, fellas, just take care of the football.
They're overloading the near side. And Flores going to look deep for Warfield. Warfield can't come down with it.
It's been their favorite player of the night, and it's been very successful for him here tonight. But
yeah, another shot downfield.
Both guys coming up a little dinged up on this one. Just laying out for that ball. Warfield didn't he gets landed on by the Bobcat. Both guys getting up a little slow.
Yeah, can't tell if that was that Sanders or maybe Gushikin down there that was on the coverage on Dakota Warfield. It's a 2nd down and 10 as they continue to take a look at the injured player. And I don't know if we could pick out a number there real quick from that angle. I think it's Gushikin. But
let's see what happened there, because when the player landed, he kind of waved his arms as if it's incomplete.
Yeah.
Something happened.
Yeah, and it is Gushikin that was on the coverage and just lays out there. And, he kind of lands there and you see, and obviously it's certainly a measure of speculation, but that could be one of those ones where he kind of lands right on his midsection there and maybe just kind of, you hope maybe it's just a question of having the wind knocked out of you there for a little bit. But to your point, yeah, there was an immediate reaction from Gushikin indicating that ball was incomplete. So his head was still in the play, I think.
Steve Crapo there barking out some instructions to his defense, longtime defensive coordinator for this Saddleback program. Mike Mayrol in on the mix right there. Some of the coaches for the Bobcats.
Yep.
Doing a fine job.
Angelo Ruiz down there on camera. Angelo Solis. Excuse me, down there on camera. And
Bobcat defense has been pretty tough all season long. They've given up a couple big plays tonight, but they've also made some big plays when they needed them.
And Gushikin able to head off the field. So a 2nd down and 10 after the incompletion. The Mounties with it at their own 42.
See if they go back to some of those little sideline patterns that they've had so much success here so far on.
And they like to break those out on 3rd down when they need 3rd down and about 5 or 7 yards. And boy, they have been dialed in on that play. Another throw on the far side, and that one knocked free and out of bounds. I believe this is going to be incomplete. Well, the Mounties are moving like they have the ball, and this is. Let's take a look at another look at this one.
That ball came out late, and it all. Well, I don't think we kind of lost.
Can't quite tell from there.
At the end, the defender pops it out, but I think they're going to say he had possession long enough. Got a couple feet down. Here's a good view of it.
Yeah, it was Kyle Thomas on the coverage.
Well, hold on now. I'm not sure, but he had 1, 2, 3, and then the ball comes out.
Yeah,
that's one of those.
This is going to go down as a catch. And to the Bobcat 35-yard line. That was Rhodes on the reception. And a great job with Thomas draped all over him to bring in that football and get the Mounties another first down. County running left, lowers the shoulder down to the 30, a gain of 5 will bring up a 2nd down and 5.
Yeah, Mount Sac's really gotten away from that part of the offense. They had so much success with it in the first quarter and a half with County, and that's the first time I've seen him carry the ball in a while.
Yeah, well, he had a fumble in the second quarter, and that was his last carry, but they bring him back out 5 yards there. He leads the team in rushing tonight with 68 yards after the 5-yard run and a 2nd down and 5. Single setback, running left, and appears to have a first down. That was Johnson on the carry.
Mount Sac going back to the running game. They had a lot of success on it in the first quarter, not so much in the second and third, but
6-yard run.
they seem to have found their stride again here in the fourth quarter.
It was Karan Johnson, who will remain in the game and get the call again. Little cut to his left. And he's dragged down at the 19, 5-yard run, makes it a 2nd down and 5. And as we continue to move forward in this fourth quarter, 11-11 as the clock moves. And you get the feeling down the stretch here with these two offenses, if you can at least get field goals instead of touchdowns defensively.
Now, Saddleback's going to get caught with too many guys. They're going to have to take a timeout here. They were trying to get some new personnel on the field. They had a bunch of guys that were getting gassed, and all of a sudden they had too many. They got 3 guys running on and 2 guys running off, Jeff, and that's a recipe for a timeout.
First charge timeout for Mount Sac in the second half. 11:02 remaining in the ballgame, tied at 27 at Saddleback College Football on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Second down and 5 from the 19.
Mount Sac has run 70 plays of offense so far in this game.
With still over 11 minutes to go. Flores looking left into the end zone, incomplete.
Just threw that ball away there. He had some heat coming from the far side. Pressure put on by the Bobcats there, Jordan Duson.
And he was looking for Bryce Pierre, a favorite target tonight, but Thomas with the good coverage, and it's a 3rd down and 5. And again, the Mounties will send in a few new players. And you see Anderson and Irby, both favorite 3rd down targets tonight, both to the right on another big 3rd down. This is a 3rd and 5 from the 19. Flores under pressure, and he tries to sneak out. He's brought down at the 20. That should go down technically as a sack, but that is great coverage by the Bobcats and nowhere for Flores to go.
Now, interestingly, both Anderson and the 6 Irby were both lined up on the right side. Flores never looked right, and so they were going to try something different there, and now it's going to fall on the shoulders of the field goal kickers.
Carlton will attempt this field goal of 37 yards. The Mounties looking for the lead. Snap, placement down, kick is up long enough and good. Noah Carlton drills it from 37 yards out, and the Mounties back out in front 30-27 with 10:14 to go here in the fourth quarter. Good answer by the Mounties as they continue to mix it up, that time going back to the running game a little bit.
Impressive field goal. Take a look at this. This was good from quite a bit further than 38. I mean, that thing is over the top of the goalpost by a good 5-6 yards. I mean, I think that thing would have been good from low 50s.
1 of 2 tonight, now 3 of 5 on the season. The 37 yards is a new season long for Noah Carlton. And the Mounties back out in front now, 30-27. But for the first time since the very early going, in fact, I believe the Mounties had the ball first. This is the first time tonight that Saddlebacks had the football where they could take the lead.
Yeah. No, I mean, they got to be excited right now. And I think most people in the building didn't think midway through the first quarter that the Bobcats would ever be in this position. But if they can put together another nice long drive. Remember the 7.5-minute drive we had to start the third quarter?
Yep. Take this one home. They fake the exchange out to the 25, 30, 35, and forced out of bounds near the 40. Another solid return by Stokes.
Yeah, we talked about the return game for Mount Sac getting a lot of good field position for the Mounties. Bobcats have hung with them here tonight. I mean, they have started quite a few times out past the 35. This one is somewhere between the 35 and 40.
Much as Brown has been a boon in the return game for the Mounties, Stokes has really stepped up for the Bobcats, who have also not had a big season at all returning kicks. A little over 22 yards as a team, but Stokes has been solid tonight with a couple of good returns. They'll start from the 38. And on comes Drew Nash, 17 of 20, 249 yards, 3 touchdowns since coming on for DJ Ralph back in the first quarter.
Yeah, he's had his way tonight. 17 for 20. You don't get to that point by mistake.
They fake it to Hicks. It's Nash on the keeper. He takes a big hit, but falls forward for a gain of about 3.
Bobcats going back to the ground game. It's been a good mix of run and pass here over the last 10, 15 minutes of the game.
2nd down and 7 from the 41. Nash in the flat. Pass complete out to the 47, Jack St. Fleur.
That's a really good
reception.
Play by St. Fleur. It's a tough ball to catch.
Yeah.
It's down around your kneecaps, and you got defenders that are bearing down on you, going down and getting that thing, keeping your concentration. That's a nice play by St. Fleur.
Yeah, he takes a big hit at the end of it for his trouble. It's a 3rd down and 1 for the Bobcats, who quickly get to the line. Fake to St. Fleur, batted up in the air and incomplete. They got good penetration from that front 4.
Well, you got a big decision now if you're Coach Crabb and company. I think they're probably going to go for this.
The offense still out there. It's a risky call so far tonight. 26 rush attempts for 53 yards as a team for the Bobcats, but they will try for a 4th and 1 here from the 47. They're 2 of 2 on 4th down so far tonight.
Question is, are they just trying to pull them off sides, or are they actually going to run a play?
We've already seen that once, down to 6 seconds, now 5 seconds on the play clock. And they're going to try to run the play. Nash pitches to St. Fleur. He's got the first down, bounces off a tackle. He's still on his feet. Into Mountie territory, cuts it back at the 20. Looking for a block. He's at the 10, dragged down inside the 5.
Jack St. Fleur. Big play right there. If you're the Bobcats, it was a risky play, going for it out around midfield. But I think the coaching staff said, you know what? It's our time.
Jack St. Fleur really goes about 4th on this depth chart at running back, but he had a big touchdown run in the victory over Glendale, and he's an explosive athlete. And this is as big a play as they have had all season. Back to live action. Nash throwing back off the hands of Barry, incomplete.
It's a tough throw. You're going one direction, you got to throw back the other, and there actually was some coverage underneath. So he had to throw it high. He threw it only place where his guy could catch it. Unfortunately, it was just too difficult of a challenge for Barry on that one.
That would have been a circus catch for Yasir Barry. And it's 2nd down and goal from the 3 after the big run by St. Fleur, who remains in the game. Snap to Nash. Looking left, guns Into the end zone. No call. Touchdown. Barry with the reception.
Defender didn't like the call here. He thought it hit the ground. Let's see. Let's take a look.
This is going to come right into your living room.
I think he caught it, Jeff.
Yeah, it certainly, if it did touch the ground, it was obscured by his body, but it looked like a good catch for Barry. Sure-handed another touchdown reception, and the Bobcats have the lead.
Tell you, there was a couple of critical catches. The one by St. Fleur that gave him a fourth down and short, or third down and short at the time, and then that catch right there by Barry. Again, that's not an easy catch.
Well, it got down under 5 seconds, and I got to tell you, I didn't think they were going to run a play at that point. And I wonder if, to some degree, they surprised the Mounties a little bit. I wonder if the Mounties defensively even thought the same thing. And we're going to take a look here and watch the sideline and see if St. Fleur maybe had a foot out.
It's close.
That is close, but I think I see a little bit of green there in between. I think St. Fleur got the
good job
got
by
the toe
camera
just
crew.
in bounds. That's a great angle.
For all
good
the
job on the replay.
And thought the Bobcats were getting some home cooking. Good job by St. Fleur along the sidelines.
8:27 to go. The 50-yard run by Jack St. Fleur, the big play, but watch how they cap it off as Nash finds Barry. And perhaps a little bit of payback there as that looked like just another quick out to Yasir Barry. But that time it was the Bobcats. And Nash finds Barry another touchdown reception, his second tonight.
Tell you what, this Saddleback offense in the second half has been impressive. Mount Sac has really had no answers defensively.
8:27 to go, and the Bobcats all the way back. They lead at 34-30. Tell you something, this is a 3C2A classic right here. Instant classic.
Yeah, Saddleback had 12 points at the half. They scored 22 in a quarter and a half now, and easily turning into their best half of football offensively all season long.
Taking it to 5. And out to the 25, 30, 35, 40. Another good lane near midfield. Big return again. 42 yards.
Yeah, no flags on the play. That's a
Daniel
nice
Rhodes.
return.
And this is just a great job opening up a huge hole for Rhodes on the return.
Well, Saddleback got themselves in a close game last week. They came up a little bit short. Let's see if they can turn the tables this time, make a big play defensively, and get out of here with a W.
43. We're going to give you one more look back to the catch by Barry and the sure hands.
Right at the shoestrings. Boy, that is not an easy play to make.
Of Yasir Barry. Yeah, a little bit thrown back behind him, but Yasir Barry, excellent hands. Couple of touchdowns tonight. And now the Bobcat defense doing what they haven't had a chance to do all night, and that's protect a lead. First down handoff and a gain of 5 out to the Bobcat 47.
See how long
Rhodes
it'll be before Mount Sac takes a shot downfield again. That's been a play they've tried, it seems, at least once every drive.
Well, you see on the edge of your screen, just walking on the screen, there's Shamar Savage, who has been a constant deep threat, including a 57-yard touchdown catch earlier, and we haven't called his name at all since the first quarter. Low snap again. And Floyd has to fall on it back near the original line of scrimmage. It'll be a 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, we've been talking about those problems all night long. That's the 4th or 5th time now where they've just had some issues on the snap back to a quarterback in the shotgun formation.
And now they're making some noise.
Yeah, Saddleback fans on their feet trying to rally the defense.
On a 3rd down and 10. From the Mount Sac 48.
These two teams have had some absolute classics over the years.
Flores with the throw complete. About a yard shy of first down yardage.
There was about a 3-year period, about a decade ago, where Mount Sac won, the game on the last drive of 3 games in a row, 3 years in a row.
Yep.
And that was a tough pill to swallow for what was then the Gauchos, now the Bobcats. But the Saddleback program had to sit and watch Mount Sac win all those 3 games in a row. Let's see if Saddleback can return the favor in 2021.
David Cates with the 9-yard reception brings up a 4th down and 1. And the Mounties are going to go for it. Not a big surprise from the Bobcat 43.
You know, it's actually more like 4th and 2 here. This ball it's down at the 43.
Timeout on the field. And it's the Mounties that want to talk it over. Their second timeout facing, it looks to me like about a 4th and 1. And we'll see. And what a big moment this is. And we've talked about the Bobcats having a little bit of trouble running the football so far tonight. Statistically, it hasn't been a whole lot better. If you're the Mounties, 35 rushing attempts as a team for 97 net yards rushing. So under 3 yards a carry for the Mounties. So there's no such thing as a sure thing here trying to run the football even on a 4th and 1.
Yeah, I was mentioning those 3 games way back in the day when Mount Sac won on the final drive. Delaney Walker, remember him? He was one of those guys, I think, Saddleback had Mount Sac in a hole, and Delaney Walker returned a kickoff about 102 yards.
Delaney Walker, I thought that was a tight end. I think he was on my fantasy team.
He is a tight end now, but
fantasy
back then
team a few years ago.
He was a wide receiver at that time for the Mounties. He ended up going D2, made it under the league, and he's had a nice little career now with the Titans for quite a while. I think he's
4th and 1. They're going to go for it. The quick throw, and Anderson with the reception. Jones, how does he not get his hands on that one? That's no doubt what he's wondering to himself right now. What a job by Flores to get this one in as you see Jones lay out. 2
defenders. Look at the guy at the line of scrimmage almost coming up with the block.
Boy, that was a great throw and a great catch by Anderson.
Amazing execution all around by not only the offense, the defense played solidly there. And guy on the other side.
Yeah,
of the
Jones
field
had the
play.
Jones had the read, but that was just too good of a throw and too good of a catch. Fresh set of downs. Flores looking deep, finds Irby inside the 10, dragged down at the 4.
There it is.
They'll give Irby a little more yardage. I believe they're going to spot this at the 2. Good protection, and they find Irby over the middle.
Might be one of those games where the team that has the ball last is going to win.
Well, let's see where they're going to spot this. It was initially at the 2, but they'll move it back to the 5, so a little closer to the first look. But either way for the Mounties, they are deep in Bobcat territory at the 5-yard line.
Reminds me of last week when Saddleback was going in for a score about this time in the game, and they got that unfortunate fumble.
And Flores now up over 400 yards passing, 432 yards in the game as we have another timeout on the field.
Yeah,
this is another timeout for Mount Sac. They're down to 1 with 5:25 remaining in the ballgame. 34-30 in favor of Saddleback, but the Mounties are knocking on the door here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. First and goal from the 5. The Mounties will overload the right side. County in the backfield with Flores. Looking right, throws, completes. Irby reaching out, got it, touchdown Mounties.
Yeah, if you're the Bobcat there, you're in a tough position. It's a one-on-one with Irby, and Hunter had his work cut out for him, and then he's just hanging out for dear life here. But Irby's, he's a pretty tough kid, and manages to find his way in.
7th catch tonight for Jordan Irby, 84 yards and a touchdown. And Alex Flores with his 5th touchdown pass of the game. And now the Mounties back out in front, 5:19 to go. Big extra point for Carlton. No good.
Wow. He missed it left. How big is that?
That keeps it at 2. And obviously, the import of there couldn't be more clear, but
good.
The Bobcats with a field goal here. Now we're talking about having the lead.
Saddleback almost got that thing. Look at this. And
again, off the edge. We saw Gushikin earlier block a kick, and that was almost a carbon copy as he came flying off the edge.
I wish we had a different angle than that. I'm not sure he didn't get a piece of that. Hard to say from this angle. We'll just have to guess.
Well, in a game of just massive plays offensively and defensively, now add special teams into the mix. That is as big a play as any because that keeps it at 2 points. And now, if you're Saddleback, you can work your way down, get a field goal. You can get out of here with a win potentially.
Absolutely. At this point, with 2 losses on your schedule, the likely scenario to make the playoffs. Wow, I don't understand this decision.
Short kick. Hard to say. It didn't look like an onside kick, but the Bobcats will take it.
Yeah,
Talk about wanting to get into field goal range, and they're just that much closer. And, yeah, this is just a kick on the ground. It looks like an onside kick, except it was way too far, really, for the Mounties to have any chance realistically of recovering it.
I don't get that at all. A lot of times you see them try to drive it down the middle of the field, but I think he just I don't know if he whiffed on it or what, but that was a little puzzling there. You're just going to give Saddleback the ball at the 42.
Jack St. Fleur in the backfield with Nash once again. 5:15 to go in the ball game, 2-point game. They'll go to St. Fleur in the flat, forced out of bounds after a gain of a couple of yards, out to the 45.
Jack St. Fleur getting some playing time now, making plays.
Well, when you make a 50-yard run, that's going to get you a few more snaps, I think. 2nd down and 8. They'll wind the clock, under 5 minutes to go. St. Fleur on the right side with a little lane. Tripped up just shy of first down yardage. He's at the Mount Sac 48 where it'll be 3rd down and 1. 7-yard run for St. Fleur.
Yeah, as I was saying earlier before we had the couple plays back, I was about to say the Bobcats now, their way to make the playoffs is probably going to be by winning their league. And so this is one of those games right here. At the end of the day, it might not really matter whether they win or not. If they win their league, they'll be in, right?
3rd down and 1 on the counter. Wimmer crushed behind the line. It's a loss on the play. What a great response by the Mountie defense. Katoa with a huge hit on Wimmer, who's had a tough night. Now it's 4th down and 3.
Yeah, you can't afford to punt now. I mean, Mount Sac's offense has been just too efficient all night long.
Nash rolling left, under pressure, lobs, and it's broken up. Looking for Barry.
It's a tough throw to make. You're a quarterback, you're right-handed, you're throwing against your body here. That is not an easy pitch and catch. And
yeah, Luton
there's
had
about
the coverage.
4 white jerseys out there.
Yep.
It's a tough one for your quarterback to have to make there.
3:45, and now it's the Bobcat defense that's going to have to come up huge. The Bobcats do still have 2 timeouts remaining. 3:45, but a timeout taken on the field.
Yeah, we got an injury kid down at about the 37 for Mount Sac.
Yeah, we do have a Mountie player down. We'll step aside. Brief injury timeout, 3:45 to go in the game. The Mounties with a 36-34 lead. You're watching Saddleback College Football here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Mount Sac taking over after the Bobcats turn it over on downs. 1st and 10 from midfield. And they'll keep it on the ground with Floyd on a 1st down carry running left. Down close to the 45. It's a 5-yard run for Nicholas Floyd.
It's a nice tackle there for Saddleback by Hunter, because there was some room around the outside if Hunter doesn't make that tackle.
Second down. And the Mounties obviously in no hurry in this situation. 3:15 as the clock moves.
No, I think they're going to just try to pound it now.
Looking to possibly close this one out with a few first downs. Might not even need to score. Floyd with the carry straight up the middle down to the 41, and it will bring up a massive 3rd and 1. You got to believe this would also be 2-down territory.
I'm not sure. I think I'd punt it if I got a
Yeah, if you don't get it here.
here.
Also an argument to be made there. Doesn't matter, as Floyd appears to have first down yardage inside the 40 down to the 38. That's a great job up front for the Mounties. 3 carries, and they move the chains, and now they can work a little more clock. And Saddleback with a couple of timeouts remaining, but at what point do you consider the possibility of starting to use them?
I think you're going to find out right after this play, Jeff, that if they're going to use one. 2 timeouts remaining for the Bobcats.
Nicholas Floyd remains in the backfield. Flores has the snap, and again back to Floyd. Dragging tacklers for a gain of about 3. Hernandez with the stop. They have it to the 33-yard line, down to 2 minutes. As Saddleback will take a timeout. They're down to 1 timeout.
Another close football game for Saddleback. They came up on the losing end last week against a really good Ventura team, playing obviously another really good football team here tonight. But what do you think? What does this mean for this Bobcat team now as they move into league play starting next week? I think they have to be encouraged in staying in games with good football teams, but at some point you got to want to win one, right? I mean, your enthusiasm can only last so long if you don't get a W. They still got some time here right now. It's second down, but it's imperative they get a stop on this set of downs.
Well, and you go back to no season a year ago, and essentially something that Kerry Crabb said that when we talked to him earlier in the years, this is a double recruiting class. This is going to be a freshman-heavy team. So this is a team that you really have the sense is at the start of the journey. And you talk about a 2-year run maybe with this team. So you're sure they're looking ahead to where they're going to be at the end of the year.
But Jeff, every single coach in the state has told me that same story. So they're all sitting with the same playbook and the same set of rules. And
absolutely. Floyd over his right guard down to the 30 before he's cut down, a gain of 3, and it will bring up a 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, this is the play right here, isn't it? Maybe they can get a false start or something on the Mounties. It'd be nice if they caught a break here. Bobcats.
Yeah, the Mounties just 7 penalties for 62 yards in the game. That's a very low number, generally speaking, for Mount San Antonio College. So they have been disciplined tonight, not hurt themselves too much at all with penalties.
Started out like it was going to be a flag fest, and things have kind of slowed down. The first quarter seemed to be a lot of penalties on both teams.
Meanwhile, with 1:56 remaining in the game, Saddleback takes their final timeout. So the situation here seems pretty clear.
Yeah, they got to get to the
Bobcats got to
27.
get off the field here, and if not, Mountie should be able to just close this out.
They need about 2.5 yards, if my eyes are correct.
Well, do you even think, if you're the Mounties at this situation, of the possibility of putting it in the hands of Flores, who has been so very good on 3rd down tonight?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think you risk stopping the clock here. I think there's even some train of thought you might go for it on 4th down if you get within a yard or so. But you got to get a stop here for the Bobcats. You got to bring the house. I think you sell out against the run.
Floyd in the backfield in an offset, dual setback formation, and he gets the call running right, second effort. Floyd's got the first down, still moving the pile inside the 20, down to the 16. That is a great response on 3rd and short with the game on the line by the Mount San Antonio College Mounties.
Yep, and that should just about do it right there. And without any timeouts left, Mount Sac can effectively run out the clock. And again, if you're Saddleback, you're just a little bit snake bit, just coming up a little bit short. It's so close, and you're so close to finding that special formula, and
trailing
now
trailing at 20-0, and coming all the way back at one point, even grabbing a 34-30 lead. But
I think if you're Saddleback right now, you got to figure out a way to come out quicker in the football game.
Yeah.
I mean, they fell behind ELAC 19-0 at half. Got behind big against Ventura, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they took the early lead, but then Ventura came back to really grab the lead, and they ended up fighting uphill all night in that one.
Yeah.
As well, despite scoring first, but they still spent most of the game trailing. And indeed, the Mounties can just go to victory formation here and close this one out. No timeouts remaining for Saddleback, and 36-34. Just a fantastic game, and it's no doubt it's going to be a bit of a heartbreaker for Saddleback. But hey, I think you made the point earlier, and I think it bears repeating that hey, their season starts next week, because it's for them. I think it's about if they have postseason aspirations, it's about winning their league, and that gets going next week.
Two of the teams they've lost to the last 2 weeks are undefeated, and they have played them neck and neck, and they were right there with both of them. So I know that it's a hollow victory to say that you lost by 2 and somehow try to equate that to a win, but yeah, both of these weeks Saddleback has played really, really good football for at least 3 quarters.
Yep.
And they've just come up a little bit short. That sometimes is just the way the ball bounces.
Yeah, learning curve for a young team, but I'm sure a lot to feel good about for Kerry Crabb. And speaking of things to feel good about, where do you think the quarterback position goes here? That will be an interesting speculation, as Drew Nash, boy, you can hardly be any better. And going back to an early conversation with Kerry Crabb, I mean, he mentioned both guys. They obviously still both fit into the plans of the team, but I think you see Drew Nash next week. We'll have to wait and see.
I think it just could be one of those roller coaster situations you see all season long. Every single game, by the way, has been kind of a roller coaster.
Yep.
So why would the quarterback situation be any different? I don't know what to expect. Maybe it's a matchup issue depending on who they play. Maybe they feel one guy might be more comfortable in the offense they want to run. I just think it's going to be one of those fluid situations throughout the rest of the season.
Your final score tonight, Mount San Antonio College 36, Saddleback College 34. Mike Zepeda, producer, director of tonight's broadcast, Angelo Solis on camera as well.
Phenomenal job, by the way, by the crew here.
Also on camera. Zach, remind me, last name? Schwartzberg, sorry. Zach Schwartzberg handling scoreboard tonight. We're kind of just going on the fly here as well. And, of course, Brad Hoyseth joining us on the broadcast. Great to have you here. And, of course, as always, special thanks to Dan Kloss, athletic director here at Saddleback College. Matt Brody as well here at Saddleback as well. And, of course, Brad, who not only joins us on the broadcast but helps us as well, providing the stats as well tonight. So, thanks to so many people. And, Brad, any final thoughts here? I know we covered a few things, but for Saddleback, they'll get going on the conference schedule coming up.
You know, it just seems like every single week there's a different type of test. Today, it was a unique test. They got down 20-0. That is a worst-case scenario. And so to see them battle back from that, I thought really showed me a lot. And, they get Mesa next week on the road, I believe. Mesa is a better young football team than I think a lot of people thought. And so another tough battle. You go on the road. They haven't played on the road but one game. It didn't go so well out of Riverside. We'll see what we come up with next week.
36-34, the final. Mount Sac in the squeaker over Saddleback. For everybody here at SoCalCollegeSports.com, thanks so much for joining us. So long, everybody.